Chapter 10:18. Hua Chunhua snorted. All right, if he really wanted to marry her, he would have come to our house to talk about it a long time ago. Why would he wait until now? I'm guessing that this marriage is most likely a failure. The reason why Lord Zheng hasn't rejected him yet is that he has asked a matchmaker to find a girl from another family. As long as a girl agrees, Zheng Qian won't come to Jing'er. After Hua Chunhua said that, the second branch fell silent. In fact, they had the same guess as Hua Chunhua. If he really wanted to marry her, he would have come to talk about it with the betrothal gifts. But even so, the second branch was still looking forward to it. As long as Zheng Qian didn't give them an official reply, it meant that it was possible. Zheng Qian was such a good man, and it was hard to find a girl like him. Otherwise, the second branch of the old Zhao family would have asked the matchmaker to find another family for Zhao Xinhui. Mom, it hasn't been decided yet. Jing'er is a good girl, and she's very pretty. It's rare to find a girl like Jing'er in the nearby villages, right? Hua Chunhua thought about it. That was true. Not to mention other things, Zhao Jing'er's face was really impeccable. It was very beautiful. Haha, let's wait and see. If Lord Zheng doesn't come, you'll cry. Hua Chunhua said sarcastically. The second branch sat straight with a touch of blush on their faces, especially Zhao Jing'er. She lowered her head under the table. She might as well find a hole and bury herself in it. Seeing the second branch's face being slapped, the generous person felt a burst of joy in his heart. Especially Feng Zhangxia. Before, Li Chueying thought that Zhao Jing'er could get married, so he always showed off in front of her. His daughter was going to marry a good man and live a happy life with him in the future. During that time, Feng Zhangxia was annoyed by Li Chueying, but she didn't know how to scold Li Chueying. Now the reality had changed and she was slapped in the face. How could she not be happy? Haha. Go ahead and show off. This is what happens when you show off. She wanted to see if Li Chueying would still show off in front of her. Feng Zhangxia added insult to injury. Second sister-in-law, what mother said is not unreasonable. You'd better not expect too much. Hurry up and find another husband for Jing'er. Don't delay it. After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, Li Chueying glared at her angrily, knowing that Feng Zhangxia's words were laced with jealousy. Sister-in-law, this is Jing'er's business. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? I am also Jing'er's aunt. I will definitely worry about Jing'er's marriage. Feng Zhangxia said with a fake smile. Haha, Li Chueying sneered. She was obviously making fun of her family, but she made it sound so nice. But then again, if Yun'er didn't get involved in Jing'er's marriage, it would probably be successful. Feng Zhangxia said. The reason why she said this was to make the second branch angry and sow discord between the second branch and Zhao Yun'er. If Li Chueying was stupid enough to cause trouble for Zhao Yun'er, then there would be a good show to watch. After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, Liang Jinqiao's face darkened even more. Chapter 10:19. After Hua Chunhua said that, the second branch felt even worse. Grandma, Zhao Jing'er didn't know what to say. She could only lower her head and feel even worse. When Li Chueying saw her daughter's ashamed look, she couldn't help but defend herself. Mother, how can my family's Jing'er be compared to that girl Yun'er? That girl Yun'er is very powerful and is best at seducing men. My family's Jing'er is a well-behaved girl and can't do such a thing. All right, stop making excuses, Hua Chunhua replied unhappily. Li Chueying wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say. She was still guilty. It was useless to argue about it now. Mother, I'm full. I'm going back to my room. Zhao Jing'er couldn't stay any longer. She put the bowl and chopsticks on the table, got up and left. Looking at Zhao Jing'er's back, she seemed very sad. Li Chueying sighed heavily in her heart. It was normal for her baby daughter to be sad. After all, Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia had said terrible things. Her daughter was a thin-skinned girl. She definitely couldn't bear such words. There was no other way now. She could only ask matchmaker Gao to go to the Zheng family and ask what Zheng Qian meant. She couldn't leave her daughter hanging, could she? If she wanted a reply, she should give it as soon as possible. Her daughter's marriage couldn't be delayed forever. The atmosphere at old Zhao's table suddenly became much more gloomy. Mother, There's going to be a banquet at third younger brother's house tomorrow. Should we go with father? Feng Zhangxia asked. Hua Chunhua replied, Of course your father will go. Why do you ask? Mother, I think the banquet at third younger brother's house must be very good. There will be food and wine. Feng Zhangxia added. Hua Chunhua frowned and said unhappily to Feng Zhangxia, Eldest daughter-in-law, what are you talking about? What are you trying to say? Mom, I just want to say that we can send some money to them as well. Just give them 20 copper coins as a token of appreciation. At that time, the men in our family will be able to enjoy the meal. If you can eat it, you can eat it back for 20 copper coins. Feng Zhangxia looked at Hua Chun as if she was trying to please her. Hua Chun rolled her eyes and said, You have a good idea. Although you can eat it back, you still have to spend money. We don't have that much money for you to spend. Mother, it's not good for me to not be able to eat at our third brother's banquet, right? Mother, it's not like our family spends money every day. This time, we're willing to part with it. Very early on, when Xueqi hurriedly followed up on Feng Zhangxia's words, the thought of being able to eat meat and drink wine made him drool. Tomorrow, his third brother would hold a banquet and everyone in the courtyard would be eating delicious food. Their family couldn't eat wild vegetables at home like they did now. They lost their appetite after just a glance at them. That's not good either. How about this? When third younger brother's banquet is over tomorrow, there will be a lot of leftover food. I can ask for some of it back at that time. In this way, you can eat delicious food again and don't need to spend dozens of copper coins. Hua Chuanhua's words weren't unreasonable. However, it was easy to say but hard to do. Mother, will third younger brother give us some? Feng Zhangxia frowned and asked. Chapter 10:20. Mother, it's possible for third brother to give it to us. But don't forget, third brother still has Yuner behind him. That girl is very stingy. If we want her to give something to our family, it will probably be very difficult. Third brother's family has so many leftovers, so who else should they give them to? I don't think they can eat all of it. Mom, third brother's family is building a house now, and there are many people coming. What if they eat all of it and don't give it to us? Hua Chunhua frowned and said seriously, How can they not give it to us? If they really don't want to give it to us, we'll go and make trouble for them. They used old Zhao's yard, so they should at least be rewarded, right? Hearing Hua Chuanhua's words, Feng Zhangxia's eyes lit up, and she hurriedly nodded. Mom, you're right. They used our yard, so they should at least be rewarded, let alone our own family. You can't be so stingy to your own family. Okay. Liang Jinqiao replied calmly. Mom, I want to eat at the table tomorrow. I don't want to eat leftovers. Zhao Xinhui pouted and said. She was a bit of a clean freak. When she thought about how so many people had touched their chopsticks and ate the food, how could she eat the leftovers when the time came? Hua Chunhua was slightly surprised. Hui, how can you eat at the table? Your eldest brother and second brother can't eat at the table. Only your father can. It's okay to eat leftovers, as long as it's delicious. No, I don't want to eat at the table. Mom, you know I don't eat leftovers. I want to eat at the table. You. Hua Chunhua felt helpless. Hui, if you eat at the table, your father can't eat at the table. I think it's better if you don't eat at the table. No, Mom, I just want to eat. I want to eat. Hua Chunhua felt helpless. Hui, I can't do that. How about this? I'll tell your sister-in-law to leave some leftovers. They haven't eaten at all. Zhao Xinhui was still displeased. Mom, I don't care. I just want to eat at the table. Zhao Xinhui knew that eating at the table was different. After all, eating at the table was different from eating leftovers. They could taste all the good dishes served at the table. Well, Hua Chunhua thought for a while. She could only do what Feng Zhangxia said. She added 20 copper coins and let Zhao Xinhui enjoy the meal as much as she wanted. Mom, I want to eat at the table. Zhao Xinhui pulled Zhao Yuner's sleeves and begged Hua Chunhua. All right, it's only 20 copper coins. Hui, go and eat. You must eat back the 20 copper coins. Zhao Xinhui nodded. Mom, I know. Of course, I'll eat back the 20 copper coins. That's great. The other people at the table had already been annoyed by Hua Chuanhua's favoritism. They couldn't say anything, but Zhao Xinhui immediately made a fuss. How could she do that? Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but say, "Mom, it's not worth it for us men to eat at the table. My younger sister can't eat as much as us, and she doesn't drink either." Zhao Wenshui's meaning was obvious. If Zhao Xinhui could eat at the table, why couldn't they? All right, stop talking. If all of you eat at the table, where will you get so much money? You only know how to be calculative. If your younger sister goes, how can you be the eldest brother? Chapter 10:21. She knew that if she said one more word, Hua Chunhua would nag at her again. I know, Mom. I'm just saying. I didn't say that I must eat it at the dining table. It's good that you know. Hua Chunhua snorted. Old Zhao's family was eating in low spirits, while Zhao Yun'er's family was enjoying the meal. After dinner, Zhao Yun prepared to make more meatloaf soup for Yi Li. She wondered whether Yi Li had eaten it before. Seeing Zhao Yun carrying a big bowl of rice and a big bowl of meatloaf soup, Zhao Wenhua couldn't help but ask, Yun, who are you bringing the meatloaf soup for? Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't say that it was for Yi Li. She hadn't told anyone that Yi Li was staying with her. However, since Zhao Wenhua asked her, she had to give him an answer. Father, this is for my family's little black to eat. Zhao Yun pulled the corner of her mouth and explained. Hearing that, Zhao Wenhua opened his mouth and sighed. He said to Zhao Yun'er, Yun'er, your dog can eat so much? Besides, you only need to feed it with leftovers. Isn't it too extravagant to make such fresh meatloaf soup for a dog? Zhao Wenhua thought that it was just a dog, not a human. People in the village usually raised dogs to feed people with leftovers. This was the first time that he had seen Zhao Yun feeding a dog with such good food. Well, Zhao Yun smiled embarrassedly. She didn't know how to explain all of a sudden. Dad, Xiaohei doesn't eat like this all the time. It's fine to eat some good food once in a while. Haha, fine. Yun, you can bring it back to Xiaohei. Yeah. Zhao Yun responded and went back. She had to give the broth to Yi Li as soon as possible. Otherwise, the broth would turn cold. When they got home, Yi Li was lying on the floor with a pensive look on his face. No one knew what he was thinking. Zhao Yun had not yet entered the house, and the smell of meat that she wanted to spew out first penetrated her nostrils. Yi Li felt his appetite being whetted. Little Black was originally playing with Little Mao in the wooden shed. When he smelled the aroma of meat, he hurriedly ran towards Zhao Yun'er. Miss Yun'er, what did you bring back? Yi Li asked with a smile. Zhao Yun'er placed the bowl and chopsticks on the table and smiled at Yi Li. Have you tried meatloaf soup before? Yi Li shook his head. He had never heard of it. Come and try it. Zhao Yun'er greeted Yi Li with a smile. Yi Li nodded and responded. Looking at the food on the table, Yi Li smiled and said, Not only have I never heard of it, but I've also never seen it before. You'll be able to eat it soon. Try it and see if you like it. Yi Li responded and picked up a piece of meatloaf with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. In fact, he was a very ordinary person, but it tasted really good. It was very refreshing and made people want to continue eating after eating it. It's delicious, Yi Li said with a smile. Haha, isn't it? I think it's delicious too. You should eat more. Okay. Zhao Yun'er stared at Yi Li curiously. She saw that Yi Li was eating very happily and kept swallowing the food into his stomach. Eat slower. Don't choke. Zhao Yun'er saw how fast Yi Li ate and was afraid that Yi Li would accidentally choke. Chapter 10:22. Zhao Yun'er smiled even brighter. Have you really never eaten this before? No. Yi Li shook his head. It doesn't make sense. It's a very common thing. Doesn't your family cook this? Zhao Yun'er looked at Yi Li curiously. Yi Li still shook his head. I've never eaten it before. All right then. Sigh, I feel like you haven't eaten anything before. Zhao Yun'er looked at Yi Li with sympathy. Zhao Yun'er was curious about Yi Li's personality. This man looked very lonely. He never mentioned his family members. Could he be an orphan? Just when Zhao Yun'er was lost in thought, a dog suddenly barked. This barking didn't come from anywhere else. It came from Little Hay. Woof, woof, woof. Little Hay barked at Yi Li. Zhao Yuner and Yi Li were stunned. They looked at little He who was squatting on the ground. Woof, woof, woof. Little He continued barking and stared at the bowl on the table. Without a doubt, little He wanted to eat the meat patties in the bowl. Yuner this. Yi Li looked at little He on the ground, then looked at Zhao Yuner. He wants to eat the food in your bowl. As Zhao Yuner said, Xiao He also responded with a whimper, and then stared at Yi Li eagerly. Yi Li suddenly didn't know what to do. If a dog wanted to eat, he couldn't refuse to give it some food. Little Black's tongue was still licking here and there, looking very gluttonous. Then I'll share some with him. Yi Li thought for a while. It didn't seem good for him to take all the food. Little He looked at him eagerly and looked very pitiful. All right. Zhao Yuner brought Little Black's bowl over, and Yi Li poured some meatloaf soup into Little Black's bowl. Come, Little Black, eat. Zhao Yuner greeted Little He. Xiao He immediately got up from the ground and rushed towards Zhao Yuner. He even wagged his tail at Zhao Yuner. He thought that Yi Li ate faster, but Little He ate much faster than Yi Li. After swallowing half a bowl of meatloaf soup, he licked the corner of his mouth to savor the aftertaste. Woof, woof, woof. Little Black continued to bark a few more times. It seemed like Little Black wanted more. Zhao Yuner patted Little Black's head and said to Little Black, Little Black, I know you've grown up and your appetite has become bigger. But she's already given you half of it. Isn't that enough? Could it be that you'll only be happy if I give you everything? People should be content with what they have. You can't be like this. Otherwise, I won't give it to you next time. Little Black understood Zhao Yuner's words and made a woo-woo sound, but he didn't continue to shout about eating. Little Black is so obedient. Zhao Yuner patted Little Black's head and praised him. Woo-woo-woo. Little Black enjoyed Zhao Yuner's stroking of his fur. Looking at Little Black's physique, he grew really fast. In just 1 or 2 months, his body had more than doubled in size. The bigger he grew, the more food he needed to eat. If it was in the past, half a bowl of meatloaf soup would probably fill Little Black's stomach. But now, it wasn't enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. Mother, Little Black can eat more and more now. Daodu came in front of Zhao Yuner and said in a childish voice. Zhao Yuner nodded and replied, Yes, Little Black can eat more and more. Mother, Little Black is also growing bigger and bigger. Will he grow up to be like Big Gray in the future? Chapter 10:23. Zhao Yuner wasn't sure how big Little Black was, but it seemed that Little Black wasn't simple. Maybe he could grow up to be a big wolf dog, even bigger than Big Gray. Daodu's eyes lit up when he heard this. Mother, is that true? Can Little Black really grow up to be as big as Big Gray? Yes. Zhao Yuner replied when she saw that Daodu was looking forward to it. Mother, if Little Black can grow up to be as big as Big Gray, then Daodu will definitely be very awe-inspiring when he goes out with Little Black. Zhao Yuner patted Daodu's head and smiled. Of course. Zhao Yuner was amused by Daodu's words. A child's world was really simple. However, Zhao Yuner really wanted to protect Daodu's innocence and not let Daodu suffer any harm. Daodu went over to Little Black and squatted down. He patted Little Black's head and said, Little Black, you have to grow up quickly. When you grow up, no one will dare to bully me when I take you out. After Daodu's reminder, Little Black barked a few times at Daodu, as if to express his agreement. Seeing this scene, Zhao Yuner's heart was filled with warmth. How could their family be so harmonious? How could a dog and a human be so harmonious? Being their family's dog was also very blissful. The next day, Zhao Yuner's family began to bustle with activity. Zhao Ping'er's wedding was a big event. Zhao Yuner was also very excited. Others felt that this was a joyous day and were excited to be able to join in the fun. However, Zhao Yuner felt that it was very difficult not to be excited after seeing off Zhao Ping'er, the god of plague. Early in the morning, the people of the third branch woke up to prepare for the relevant matters. The wedding banquet was held at noon, so the banquet was held at noon. Now, Zhao Ping'er had to dress up and wait for the people from the family Qin to come and pick her up. Because Zhao Yuner was getting married, everyone in her family had to be present, especially her uncles. In addition to Zhao Yuner's first and second uncles, several aunts also came to join in the fun. There was also his cousin and Zhao Yuner's grandmother. It could be said that Liang Jinqiao's entire family had come out, except for a few people of the same generation as Zhao Yuner who stayed at home and did not come. After all, they knew that Zhao Yuner's family would definitely entertain them when they came over. If he could eat something good, why wouldn't he eat it? He wasn't stupid. According to the customs of the countryside, when a daughter got married, the uncle had to be present. The aunt was dispensable. As for his grandmother, she would usually come over. It was understandable that old Madame Liang came to see Zhao Ping-er's wedding. But what did her aunt and cousin mean by coming over to join in the fun? Zhao Yuner was not stupid. Naturally, she knew what they were up to. Zhao Yuner could not do anything to thick-skinned people. She could not go against them. On such a big day, it was not good to drive them away. She could only let them take advantage of her and come over to have a meal. In the morning, many people came to Zhao Yuner's house to join in the fun. In the room of the third branch, Zhao Ping-er, who had changed into the wedding dress, was dressing up. Seeing Zhao Ping-er's wedding dress, the people who came were admiring and envious. Ping-er, you're so lucky. Yes, to be able to wear such a beautiful wedding dress. This wedding dress is so beautiful. It's obvious that it's expensive. I've seen so many people get married, but I've never seen a girl get married in a more beautiful wedding dress. Chapter 1024. That's why Ping-er is so lucky. It should be said that old Zhao's third branch is very lucky. How can an ordinary family have such a beautiful wedding dress to wear? They can't bear to spend so much money. Now, the third branch is different from before. Their family is building houses and so on. They are rich. That's about right. Since they are rich, they can naturally prepare these things for their daughter. If my family was so rich, I would also prepare these things for my daughter. That's right. Only rich people can let their daughters marry off in a grand manner. Poor people can forget about it. This Ping-er's wedding dress is probably enough to buy several loads of grain. Let's just take a look. I'm so envious. Yeah, how many girls in the village can marry off in such a grand manner? Look at Ping-er's dowry. Old Zhao's third branch really prepared a lot. It's not shabby at all. It's just a daughter. How can it be shabby? That's right. Everyone has their own life. Ping-er has a good life. Yeah, Ping-er has a good life after all. When the onlooking villagers saw it, they chattered outside the door. The discussion was very loud and there was no need to hide it at all. After all, they were not saying anything bad. Even if Zhao Yuner's family heard it, Zhao Yuner's family would definitely not take it to heart. However, the villagers' discussion fell into the ears of Zhao Yuner's relatives. Relatives always like to compete with each other. They could not stand to see who was better than the other. Therefore, when they saw that Zhao Yuner's daughter was getting married in such a grand manner, they could not help but feel a little jealous. Especially Zhao Yuner's cousins. When they saw Zhao Ping-er's wedding dress, their eyes turned red and they looked very jealous. Liang Xinyue said to Zhao Yuner's second aunt, Wu Zhenju, beside her ear, "Mother, look. This pig is wearing such a beautiful wedding dress today. She's so ugly. What a waste of the wedding dress." Wu Zhenju agreed very much and said, "Yeah, Ping-er really wasted the wedding dress. She's really overestimating herself. In comparison, she's even uglier. I don't know what Ping-er is thinking. How can she have no self-awareness at all?" Liang Xinyue snorted and said, "Mother, isn't it normal for them to have no self-awareness? AI, it's a waste of this dress. Mother, when I get married, can you buy me a wedding dress? If I wear such clothes, I'll definitely look grand when I get married. I won't embarrass our Liang family. When I go back to my in-laws' side, I'll definitely have some status." This, Wu Zhenju frowned and said, It's not that mother doesn't want to buy it for you or can't bear to buy it for you. It's just that this is a very expensive thing. Your father and the others have to agree to it. Our family is so big that we're very careful about spending money. Once we buy it for you, when the other girls get married in the future, they'll definitely haggle over it and have to buy it for you. This is not a small expense. Liang Xinyue understood that Wu Zhenju meant that it was very difficult to buy this wedding dress for her. Liang Xinyue still had a lot of unwillingness in her heart. If she did not see Zhao Ping-er like this, it would be fine. The main thing was that when she saw Zhao Ping-er dressed so beautifully for her wedding, she felt very uncomfortable in her heart. Chapter 1025. The more Liang Xinyue thought about it, the more indignant she felt. Mother, I'm different from the others in our family. I married into a good family, and my in-laws gave me a lot of money as gifts. Therefore, it's only right for me to dress nicely when I get married. The others can't find a good in-law, and they can't accept a lot of betrothal gifts. They can't compare themselves to me in dressing nicely and getting married in style. Liang Xinyue said to Wu Zhenju, somewhat indignant. When Wu Zhenju heard this, he felt that Liang Xinyue's words made a lot of sense. You seem to be right. Mother, of course. I'm just telling the truth. All right then. Mother will go back and tell your father and the others. Indeed, our family received a lot of money as gifts for your wedding. We have to prepare well so that you can get married in style. Yes, yes. Liang Xinyue nodded. Her heart filled with anticipation. As long as she was a girl, who wouldn't want to dress beautifully on their wedding day? Not far away, Zhao Yuner's eldest uncle's daughter, Liang Xinzi, heard Liang Xinyue's words. Her delicate brows furrowed with disgust, as if she was very unhappy with Liang Xinyue's words. However, this unpleasant feeling was quickly hidden by him. Liang Xinzi stared at Zhao Ping'er and tugged at Guocaixia, who was beside her. Mother, Sister Ping, is really lucky today. Guocaixia nodded and said, yes, Ping'er is a lucky girl. Sister Ping looks much prettier than usual today when she dresses up like this. Haha, of course. If she doesn't look prettier, would she look uglier? As the saying goes, clothes make the man, and gold makes the Buddha. This saying is definitely true. Little Ping looks much better now that she's dressed up. Yes. Liang Xinzi replied. Liang Xinzi purposely raised her voice so that Liang Xinyue could hear her. She wanted to anger Liang Xinyue. Sure enough, when Liang Xinyue heard this, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She felt that Liang Xinyue must be blind. Even after dressing up, she still looked so ugly. How could she say such words? You're blind. Liang Xinyue secretly complained. The corners of Liang Xinyue's mouth curled up as she allowed Liang Xinyue to continue. She knew that Liang Xinyue was jealous of Zhao Ping'er. Thinking about how Liang Xinyue was jealous of others, Liang Xinyue's heart felt sour. Sister Ping is so lucky. Don't be like him. If only you could marry half as well as him. Liang Shizi muttered again. Guocaixia smiled and said, Zier, don't worry. I will. On this end, while the Liang family members were muttering, Zhao Ping'er was almost done with her preparations. Comb her hair to her tail, comb her hair to her eyebrows, comb her hair to her eyebrows, comb her hair to fill the hall with grandchildren. Old Madame Liang smoothed Zhao Ping'er's hair in front of her. After she was done smoothing her hair, she began to braid Zhao Ping'er's hair. When the hairstyle was done, she put a big red flower on her head, looking very festive. Zhao Ping'er sat and kept urging, hurry up, hurry up. Don't be too slow. What if Big Brother Yuan comes to fetch me? Zhao Ping'er's impatient words made everyone present feel very awkward. Whose family's girl was marrying someone like Zhao Ping'er? When other people got married, they were reluctant to part with them. Zhao Ping'er could not wait to immediately become part of their family. Chapter 1026. After old Madame Liang finished speaking, everyone present couldn't help but snicker. They felt that old Madame Liang was right. Zhao Ping'er really couldn't get married like this. If it wasn't for the fact that Qin Yuan was willing to marry her, Zhao Ping'er would probably have to stay at home for the rest of her life and become an old lady. No wonder Zhao Ping'er was so anxious. Thinking about it, it made sense. Ping'er's grandmother, help her comb her hair quickly. Don't make her anxious. That's right. Look at how anxious he is. Hurry up. We can't let the man wait. Otherwise, he won't be willing to wait and will turn around to leave. Who will marry Ping'er in the future? Haha, that's right, that's right. Ping'er's marriage isn't easy. Don't make things difficult for her. That's right. Hurry up and do it for her. Otherwise, Ping'er's going to cry. The people who wanted to join in the fun said one sentence after another with a hint of teasing. Zhao Ping'er wasn't in the mood to bicker with them. Instead, she continued to urge old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang was helpless. She could only help Zhao Ping'er's hairstyle quickly. After Zhao Ping'er's hairstyle was done, she looked in the mirror and started to apply rouge on her face. Ping-er, what are you doing? Old Madame Liang had never seen this before. She curiously came over and asked Zhao Ping'er. Grandmother, this is rouge. Rouge. Old Madame Liang looked at it and was still very puzzled. Yes, rouge. This thing is worth a lot. Zhao Ping'er said proudly. Knowing that there were so many people in the room, she was showing off. How much is it? Old Madame Liang asked weakly. Zhao Ping'er raised her voice and said, Grandmother, this is just a small box. It's worth a few hundred copper coins or 1 tael of silver. Hearing Zhao Ping'er's words, Old Madame Liang looked at Zhao Ping'er in surprise. What? This thing is so expensive? It's just a small box. Little Ping, you're not talking nonsense, are you? Zhao Ping'er frowned and said, Grandmother, how could I talk nonsense? It's really that much. Why? Is it so expensive? You can buy a lot of meat with that money. Old Madame Liang felt. She felt that Zhao Ping's money was not worth it. Grandma, this is good stuff. You don't understand. After applying this stuff it can make people look better. Zhao Ping sees even more. The more she felt. Complacent. After all, she was biased, as the people at the side heard, and some of them had heard of rouge before. They could not help but sigh. Looks like the third branch is really rich now. They're even willing to buy such expensive things for the lass. Isn't that so? I heard that rouge is only used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Yes, I've heard of it too. We country folk don't have the ability to use it. Ping-erzes can't even use things that are used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Sigh, what can we do? The third branch is rich. The envious voices around them grew. Zhao Ping'er's vanity was greatly satisfied. Liang Xinyue's jealousy grew. Not only did the ugly Zhao Ping'er have a wedding dress, but now she even has rouge. Chapter 10:27. Why did that slut Zhao Ping'er have such a good life? Why wasn't their family the one who got rich? If their family was like Zhao Ping'er's family and got rich, they would probably be able to afford such an expensive rouge. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinyue muttered. She thought that if the rouge was used on her face, it would definitely make her face very beautiful. Zhao Ping'er's foundation was really too poor. No matter how much she dressed up, it couldn't cover up Zhao Ping'er's ugly face. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinzi chuckled. What are you talking about? It's their problem to waste. It has nothing to do with us. Besides, their family is rich. They have the money to waste, unlike us who can't even afford to buy it. After Liang Xinzi finished speaking, Liang Xinyue felt even more uncomfortable. Don't talk nonsense. When I said waste, I wasn't referring to this. I wasn't referring to that. I can't be bothered to talk to you. Liang Xinyue pursed her lips. Liang Xinzi didn't continue speaking. However, when she saw the jealousy on Liang Xinyue's face, Liang Xinzi's heart continued to feel a little better. She liked to see Liang Xinyue jealous of others while she couldn't get anything. Grandma, I'm getting married today, so I have to dress up beautifully. That's why I have to put on this rouge. Is that so? Old Madame Liang didn't know much about this. Zhao Ping'er nodded. Grandma, you'll know in a while. Old Madame Liang stared at Zhao Ping'er curiously. She wanted to see what Zhao Ping'er was going to do. Zhao Ping'er took out the rouge from the box and applied it to her face. After applying it, her whole face suddenly became much paler. Even some of the freckles on her face were covered. When Liang Jinqiao saw this, he could not help but exclaim, Ah, Ping'er girl, you look so much prettier. Zhao Ping'er smiled proudly and said, Grandma, of course. Grandma, ordinary people can't get such a good thing. Old Madame Liang replied with a smile. Haha, that's right. It's such a good thing and so expensive. Ordinary people can't get their hands on it. Grandma, do you think I've become more beautiful? Zhao Ping'er purposely moved her face closer to him. Old Madame Liang nodded as she looked at her spotless face. Yes, it does look better. With old Madame Liang's affirmation, Zhao Ping'er was even more proud. Thus, she continued to dig into the rouge box. After a while, she applied a lot of rouge on her face. After Zhao Ping'er's antics, his face, which was already pale enough, became as pale as a dead person's face. After that, Zhao Ping'er did not notice it at all. She still thought that she looked good with her makeup. After applying the rouge, Zhao Ping'er continued to apply red paper to her lips. Her lips were bright red, and it looked like modern lipstick. Thus, Zhao Ping'er's final makeup was a pale face with bright red lips and a birthmark on her face. She was originally a healthy person, but now she looked like a female ghost. Zhao Ping'er's birthmark could not be covered even by the rouge. Compared with her pale face, it was even more obvious and ugly. After seeing this, everyone fell silent. Chapter 10:28. I don't look good? Zhao Ping'er asked in confusion. Old Madame Liang nodded and said, Yes, Ping'er, you don't look good. Why don't you wipe off the rouge on your face? Zhao Ping'er didn't believe her and insisted, Grandma, how am I not pretty? I think I look pretty good. That's all. Since Zhao Ping'er insisted, the others didn't say anything. However, when they saw Zhao Ping'er dressed up like a ghost, they couldn't help but laugh. They didn't know where Zhao Ping'er got the courage to say that. Didn't she look in the mirror to see what she looked like? Liang Xinhua looked at her and was very proud. Haha, you're so stupid. Aren't you afraid that men will be scared to death if they see you like this? Fortunately, she covered her face with a veil in advance. Once the veil was put on, no one could see what Zhao Ping'er looked like. However, Zhao Ping'er's future husband would definitely see Zhao Ping'er's ghostly appearance. Liang Xinhua was curious. When the Qin Yuan took off Zhao Yun'er's veil, would he think that he had seen a ghost? Faced with such a face, how could they continue to consummate their marriage? At this moment, Liang Xinhua felt a little sympathy for the Qin Yuan. What she didn't understand was why a woman like Zhao Ping'er was willing to marry her. Ping'er, I'm doing this for your own good. Why don't you listen to me? Do you really want to get married like this? The more old Madame Liang looked at Zhao Ping'er's face, the more uncomfortable she felt. In the end, she couldn't help but nag at Zhao Ping'er again. Zhao Ping'er frowned. Grandma, I put a lot of effort into dressing up. I think it's pretty good. Didn't you say it was pretty good just now? Why are you saying it's not good now? Old Madame Liang sighed. You could before, but now you've smeared too much on your face. That's why it looks weird. Zhao Ping'er frowned even more. Grandma, this rouge is very expensive. It would be a waste to wipe it off. Don't worry, just put it on your face. Fine. Ping'er, it's your fault for being disobedient. Don't blame us later for dressing you up. Zhao Ping'er grinned. Got it, Grandma. I won't scold you. That's good. Old Madame Liang nodded. After Zhao Ping'er finished dressing up, she immediately covered herself with the red veil. She then sat on the bed, waiting for Qin Yuan to pick her up. When she sat on the bed, she was nervous and excited. She wished that Qin Yuan could come over right away and marry her as soon as possible. After Zhao Ping'er covered herself with the red veil, the people who came over to see how the bride looked like all left one after another. Now that they saw the bride's face, they felt that she was very scary. Ordinary people probably didn't have the courage to face such a woman. They had been here for so many years, and had seen many brides. Zhao Ping'er was the most well-dressed but ugly one they had ever seen. As they left, they were still chattering. Sigh, don't talk about Ping'er. Why did she only get married at such an old age? Her appearance is really too shabby. Exactly. She's not only ugly, but she also smears her face like a ghost. It's so scary. Chapter 10:29. Haha, it's mainly because Ping'er is so interesting. She thinks she's pretty. Some people just don't know their place. She doesn't even know what she looks like. Why would she waste such a good rouge on her face? The rouge belongs to her. She doesn't care about it. What can you do? I really don't know what to do, but today is really interesting. Haha, I want to see how the groom will react when he sees the bride. I wonder if he'll be as scared as we are. However, we probably won't be able to see it. After all, the bride's red veil won't be lifted until the wedding night. Alas, what a pity. Most of these people were making sarcastic remarks, After all, Zhao Pinger's flaunting made them feel uncomfortable. Therefore, they naturally wanted to see Zhao Pinger make a fool of herself. In the room of the third branch, most of the outsiders had left. Only the family stayed. Seeing that Zhao Pinger was finally going to get married, old lady Liang couldn't help sighing. Alas, I finally get to see Pinger get married. That's great. That's right. It's really not easy to see Pinger get married. Sister, you don't have to worry about Pinger anymore. Wu Zhenju followed behind old lady Liang and agreed. However, there was a slight difference in their tones. When old lady Liang said that, she sounded very happy, but when Wu Zhenju said that, he sounded a little jealous. Liang Jinqiao smiled. Yeah, it's really not easy for Pinger to get married. Today is a big day. I have to make arrangements for Pinger so that she can get married in a grand way. After Liang Jinqiao finished speaking, Wu Zhenju said sourly, Sister, you really married Pinger off in a grand way. Look at Pinger's outfit. How many girls from other families can dress like this? You're only willing to spend money on her. Most people probably won't. Also, eldest sister, I heard that your family's banquet is going to have 10 tables. We've seen a lot of happy events. It's really not easy to have 10 tables. Liang Jinqiao smiled sheepishly and said, Pinger is finally getting married. Since her family is able to afford it, of course we'll do it for her. Actually, the total cost isn't that much. Wu Zhenju said with a fake smile. What are you talking about? You look so grand, but you still say that you didn't spend much money. It seems that your family has really made a lot of money, so you don't care about this little bit of money, right? Well, it's not that big of a deal. As long as we can live a good life, it's enough. Liang Jinqiao said casually. Of course, she wouldn't tell Wu Zhenju how much money she had made. Precisely because Liang Jinqiao didn't want to tell him, Wu Zhenju wanted to know how much money Liang Jinqiao's family had made. Eldest sister, what are you talking about? How can we live a good life? It's simply wonderful. Wu Zhenju continued. Liang Jinqiao really didn't want to continue talking about this topic, but Wu Zhenju wouldn't let it go. Liang Jinqiao was very distressed. What her family was doing and how much money they had made was their family's business. It had nothing to do with other people. Chapter 10:30. Second sister-in-law. It's not me. It's Yunar's ability. Liang Jinqiao pushed all the blame onto Zhao Yunar. At this moment, Zhao Yunar wasn't in the house. Liang Jinqiao thought that Wu Zhenju would drop the topic. However, to Liang Jinqiao's disappointment, Wu Zhenju kept on asking. All right, big sister, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought about it. Now that you mention it, I remember. What happened to your family's Yunar? Tell us about it. Liang Jinqiao met Wu Zhenju's gossipy eyes and felt a sharp pain in his forehead. Oh God, why was his second sister-in-law so talkative? She kept on asking questions as if she was interested in everything in their family. There were some things that Liang Jinqiao really didn't want to reveal, but Wu Zhenju asked very directly. He didn't know what Wu Zhenju wanted to do. After all, she was his second sister-in-law. No matter how annoying Wu Zhenju was, Liang Jinqiao couldn't say anything to Wu Zhenju. He could not respond to Wu Zhenju, and he couldn't make Wu Zhenju shut up. Second sister-in-law, don't ask so many questions. Big sister is already busy enough today. She doesn't have the energy to answer so many of your questions. Guo Zixia couldn't stand it anymore and stood up for Liang Jinqiao. Wu Zhenju replied unhappily, I'm also concerned about big sister's family situation. Concern is concern, but you can't ask like this. Look at big sister's headache now because of you. Guo Zixia said sarcastically. The two sisters-in-law didn't have a good relationship and didn't see eye to eye with each other. Now that there was an opportunity to criticize each other, how could they let it go? Wu Zhenju wanted to say something but was stopped by old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang said to Wu Zhenju, second daughter-in-law, your sister-in-law is right. I think you'd better not ask. If you have any questions, you can ask them slowly after Pinger's marriage is over. After all, old Madame Liang was his mother-in-law. In the Liang family, the daughter-in-law had to listen to her mother-in-law. No matter how strong Wu Zhenju was, he was still respectful to old Madame Liang. Wu Zhenju stopped for a moment after old Madame Liang finished speaking. The family gathered together and continued to chat casually. Old Madame Liang went to Liang Jinqiao and asked about the situation with Zhao Ping'er's in-laws. After all, she didn't live in the same village as Liang Jinqiao. Old Madame Liang was old and it was difficult for her to move around. Therefore, she didn't know much about Zhao Yun'er's family situation. Liang Jinqiao told her about the situation. Old Madame Liang was quite cold. Only then did she understand how Zhao Ping'er got married. It turned out that they spent money to see Zhao Ping'er get married. This kind of thing was really rare. After all, no man would be willing to marry Zhao Yun'er with that face of hers. Old Madame Liang muttered, It's okay, it's okay. Ping'er can get married. It doesn't matter if the family is poor, as long as the person is normal. Some girls even have to marry a fool or a cripple. In comparison, Ping'er's family is much better. That's right. Liang Jinqiao replied. Marrying a fool or a cripple was harming his daughter. Liang Jinqiao couldn't do such a thing. Even if Zhao Ping'er couldn't get married, he wouldn't let Zhao Ping'er marry someone like that. That would be harming her for the rest of her life. Chapter 1031. While they were talking, Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinyu came over. Liang Jinfen's whole family came over to eat at the wedding banquet. Nominally, it was because Zhao Ping'er was getting married, and it was inappropriate for her to not come as a second aunt. But in fact, she just wanted to eat more. As soon as Liang Jinfen came in, she said to the room, Oh, everyone is here. Yes. Wu Zhenju responded and said to Liang Jinfen, Second sister, your family is here too. Liang Jinfen was very polite to Wu Zhenju. She smiled and said, Yes, isn't this Ping'er's big day? I'm Ping'er's second aunt. How could I not come? Wu Zhenju nodded and said, That's right. Ping'er's wedding is a big day. As relatives, we should come and support her. Haha, that's why I'm here now. Second sister, you must be tired after such a long journey, right? Sit down and rest. Wu Zhenju greeted her warmly, as if he was entertaining people in his own home. Liang Jinfen responded with a smile, Okay, let's all take a rest. Okay. As soon as they sat down, Liang Jinfen looked around curiously. When he saw Zhao Ping'er, he sighed and said, Oh, Ping'er looks so good today. With that, Liang Jinfen moved closer to Zhao Ping'er to take a good look. Liang Jinqiao smiled and said, Ping'er is getting married today. Of course, she has to dress up. Naturally, she has to look better than usual. Liang Jinfen responded with a smile. Of course. After all, Ping'er is getting married today. Of course, she has to dress up. Liang Jinfen responded, Of course, of course. Ping'er doesn't have it easy. I'm late and haven't seen how Ping'er looks today. Let me take a look. As Liang Jinfen spoke, he moved closer to Zhao Ping'er. He asked Zhao Ping'er, Ping'er, can I lift your veil and take a look? Zhao Ping'er thought for a while and finally said, Okay, second aunt. Just one look. In fact, Zhao Ping'er felt that she should let more people see her beautiful appearance. She should let her second aunt see what she looked like after dressing up. It would be best if her second aunt could compliment her when she saw her. Liang Jinfen walked over with a smile and lifted Zhao Ping'er's veil. Liang Jinfen jumped in fright when she saw what was on the screen. Oh, ghost! Liang Jinfen screamed and fell backward. Seeing Liang Jinfen scream and the words that came out of Liang Jinfen's mouth, everyone in the room was stunned at first. Then, they all reacted differently. Zhao Ping'er was furious. Ghost! He called her a ghost. Coupled with Liang Jinfen's reaction, wasn't this too exaggerated? Zhao Ping'er wasn't stupid enough to think that Liang Jinfen wasn't talking about her. Hence, she looked at Liang Jinfen angrily and complained to Liang Jinfen. Second aunt, who are you calling a ghost? After hearing Zhao Ping'er's voice, Liang Jinfen realized that he wasn't looking at a ghost. It was Zhao Ping'er. Instantly, she felt very awkward. Chapter 1032. After Liang Jinfen explained, he felt that it would be better if he didn't explain at all. The more he explained, the more confused it would be. Zhao Ping'er pouted and asked angrily, Aunt, are you blind or something? Are you trying to make me angry? Ping'er, I won't make you angry on purpose. It's just, your face is too white, and you look like a ghost. I will be scared. Liang Jinfen was also somewhat displeased with a sentence of ridicule. It would be fine if she was just talking nonsense, but what she said was the truth. How could she not tell the truth? Zhao Ping was simply an idiot. It was fine if she was ugly, but if she dressed up properly, she would at least look like a normal person. Now, she wasn't even a normal person, but directly turned into a ghost. It was really frightening to look at. Why didn't Zhao Ping notice it herself? Did she think that she was beautiful in this way? Her family was also strange. Zhao Ping dressed up like this. Didn't anyone say anything? Didn't anyone remind her? How was this marriage? It was simply frightening. If the groom suddenly lifted the red veil and saw Zhao Pinger's dignified appearance, he would probably have the same reaction as her. He would think that he had seen a ghost. Thinking of this, Liang Jinfen suddenly felt that it was funny. There would definitely be a good show to watch later. Mom. Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinqiao. Liang Jinqiao's eyes moved. He walked forward helplessly and comforted Zhao Ping. All right, Ping, don't be sad. Mom thinks that you dress up like this. Normal people don't dress like this. Put the veil back on. With Liang Jinqiao's comfort, Zhao Ping felt much better. Okay. Zhao Ping responded softly, and then put the red veil back on. After Zhao Ping covered her head with the red veil, Liang Jinqiao gave Liang Jinfen a look, indicating that Liang Jinfen should stop talking. Liang Jinfen had no choice but to play along. The other people in the room snickered. They couldn't be blamed. They really couldn't take it anymore. With Zhao Pinger's appearance, as long as one was a human, they would think that she was a ghost. She didn't know why Zhao Ping didn't have that kind of self-awareness. She still felt good about herself even though others had such a reaction. How interesting. When Liang Jinfen saw the others laughing, he laughed as well. She thought that her eldest sister would dress Zhao Pinger up beautifully and marry her off. If her face was seen by others, she would definitely become a joke and be talked about to death. After a while, Zhao Yun'er's smile and Liang Jinyu came over as well. Liang Jinyu's family only came over alone. They didn't even bring their children. Compared to when Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinyu came over, the relatives of the Liang family didn't pay much attention to her. They were close to Liang Jinfen because Liang Jinfen's family was well-to-do. They weren't so close to Liang Jinyu because Liang Jinyu's family wasn't well-to-do. The Liang family's relatives were very snobbish. They knew that if they were close to rich relatives, they could still ask for help if they were in trouble in the future. However, if they were too close to poor relatives, they probably wouldn't be able to help them in the future. Instead, they would come to ask for help. No one liked relatives who took advantage of others. It was fine if they didn't get too close to poor relatives in the beginning. Chapter 1033. Nevertheless, she still greeted them with a smile. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law, mother. Other than old Madame Liang, the others only responded with a faint sound and ignored Liang Jinyu. Naturally, Liang Jinyu did not feel good about this situation. She just smiled embarrassedly. In fact, she was used to this kind of situation. After all, she wasn't liked at home. Every time she went back to her parents' home, her brothers and sisters-in-law would treat her coldly. She knew the reason. It was because her family was too poor. Other people looked down on her family. This was a matter of no disrespect. Except for her family members, many people in the village were the same. When they saw her family members, they didn't like her. Liang Jinqiao went forward and asked Liang Jinyu, "Jinyu, are you the only one who came from your family? Why didn't the others come?" Old Madame Liang also asked, "Yes, Jinyu, why are you the only one who came? Where are your family members?" Liang Jinyu smiled and said, "Mother, it's fine for me to come alone. Why are they here? Won't it be troublesome for eldest sister's family to entertain one more person? Don't all the people who come here to drink alone? Who would bring their whole family here?" After Liang Jinyu finished her words, the other people in the room felt their faces begin to burn with pain. Whether it was Zhao Yun'er's eldest uncle or second uncle, or Zhao Yun'er's second aunt, they all came with a lot of people. Liang Jinyu's words were a slap to their faces. She said that they brought too many people in front of Liang Jinqiao. Liang Jinfan's mouth twitched. He smiled embarrassedly and said, Jinyu, you're wrong. We're family members. How can it be the same? Since Ping Er is getting married, all of us relatives have to come. After Liang Jinfan said that, Liang Jinyu couldn't help but say, But Jinyu, you didn't say that before. When your younger brother got married, I went with my husband, and you even scolded me. After Liang Jinyu finished speaking, Liang Jinfan's expression froze and his smile froze. Being slapped in the face like this, Liang Jinfan didn't know what to say. Thinking back to the past, it did seem to be the case. She didn't think that Liang Jinyu would still remember and mention it directly. Liang Jinfan didn't know what to say all of a sudden. That's enough, little sister. We're all family, not outsiders. Liang Jinqiao said, trying to defuse the situation. Yeah, haha. Liang Jinfan smiled awkwardly. In the room of the third branch, the women gathered together and liked to chatter. Zhao Ping'er sat in the room and waited anxiously. While waiting, she muttered, Mother, why isn't Brother Yuan here yet? Is Big Brother Yuan not coming? When people were anxious, they liked to let their imagination run wild. Zhao Ping'er was like that. Seeing that Qin Yuan hadn't come for a long time, she began to guess. Liang Jinqiao walked over and comforted her. Little Ping'er, don't worry. It's not time yet. What are you talking about? You said it yesterday. Even if you want to go back on your words, you won't go back on your words so soon. Zhao Ping'er pouted her lips. Mom, I'm just doing it. Chapter 1034. Alright, Ping'er, don't worry. Qin Yuan will definitely come. You have to wait for a while. How about this? I'll cook something for you first. It's going to take a long time today. If you're picked up, your husband's family might not give you anything to eat. Liang Jinqiao cared about his daughter. He knew that getting married was not an easy thing. If she didn't eat well now, she would be hungry for the whole day. When the bride was picked up, her husband's family would make a fuss. They wouldn't know whether the bride had eaten or was hungry. Therefore, before the bride got married, her husband's family would ask her if she wanted to eat something to fill her stomach in case she was hungry. Zhao Ping'er didn't care about Liang Jinqiao's concern at all. Zhao Ping'er replied unhappily, Mom, I don't want to eat. Mom, I'm waiting for Brother Yuan now. I'm not in the mood. Liang Jinqiao said helplessly, All right then. Ping'er, if you're hungry, don't blame me for not eating with you in advance. Mom, what are you talking about? I'm not blaming you. If I'm really hungry later, I'll tell my mother-in-law. She'll definitely cook something for me. All right. If you're hungry, you can tell her yourself. Don't keep quiet when you're hungry. I know, Mom. I'm not stupid. That's good. Zhao Ping'er sat in the house and waited anxiously, while Zhao Yun was busy preparing the banquet outside. There were a lot of preparations for the banquet at noon. The chicken was already stewed in the pot, and the other dishes were already cut. Once the banquet started, these dishes could be poured into the pot and cooked quickly. It could speed up the serving of the dishes. Zhao Yun only wanted to get busy as soon as possible so that she wouldn't be in a hurry when the banquet started. There were quite a lot of people in old Zhao's courtyard. The women in the village went to Zhao Yun'er's house to join in the fun and chat. There weren't many ways to entertain in the village, and a lively event like a wedding was even rarer. Therefore, Zhao Yun'er's family had many talents. Mu Lan and Mu Hin were both busy and did not have the time to talk like the other women. Seeing that no one had come to pick up the bride, Mu Lan went to Zhao Yun'er and said, Yun'er, why hasn't your sister's in-laws come yet? It's almost time. Mu Lan went to Zhao Yun'er and said. Zhao Yun'er shook her head and said, I don't know. Yun'er, I don't want to say this, but your sister Ping'er's in-laws are really unreliable. They still drag on such an important event like the wedding. Zhao Yun'er replied helplessly, What should we do? They don't want to marry my sister Ping'er. Alas, the wedding is already like this. If she marries over, she will probably be even more disliked. Zhao Yun'er nodded. Of course, but it's better if she's disliked. I'm afraid that they will like her. Zhao Yun'er's words made Mulan laugh. Haha, Yun'er, what you said is really interesting. I'm telling the truth. Our family is too good to my sister Ping and spoils her. If my sister Ping marries into another family, she will know what it's like. Chapter 1035. Her mother-in-law's family was different from her mother-in-law's family. She had to listen to her mother-in-law. She remembered that when she had just married into the family, she had been tortured by Mrs. Xu. She had to do all kinds of hard work. Otherwise, she would be scolded to death by Mrs. Xu. She could bear hardships and cooperate with her mother-in-law, but Zhao Ping was too lazy to do anything in her mother-in-law's family. If she didn't do anything in her mother-in-law's family, she would be scolded to death. While they were chatting, they saw a group of people coming over. It was the family of Qin Yuan. However, when the family of Qin Yuan came over, they only asked people to carry a broken sedan chair. The sedan chair looked very shabby, as if it was made from somewhere. Half of the sedan chair was broken. They probably didn't have enough money to rent it, so they used this kind of sedan chair that no one else wanted. When the people who came to pick up the bride came over, they heard the sound of a gong. Ah, the people who came to pick up the bride are here. They're here. They're finally here. They've been waiting for so long. Once the family of Qin Yuan came over, the crowd who wanted to join in the fun immediately looked over. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lan also stopped what they were doing and looked in the direction of Qin Yuan. As the groom today, Qin Yuan was wearing a red groom's suit. However, the groom's suit looked very old. It didn't look new. If Zhao Yun'er knew that Qin Yuan's groom was worn by Qin Dashan when he got married, what would she think? However, although his clothes were a little old, Qin Yuan was handsome, so he still looked very elegant. He was very good-looking. After the crowd saw the appearance of Qin Yuan, they began to whisper to each other. Let's not talk about other things. The groom today is really handsome. Yeah, I've never seen such a handsome man before. It seems that Ping took advantage of the situation. She thought that her groom was also ugly. Now that I've seen it, I finally know why Ping can't wait to get married. Seeing such a handsome little husband, she wants to be taken back to the bridal chamber as soon as possible. Haha, that's right, but why did you bring such a broken palanquin over? Everyone in the family is dressed so shabbily. They must be poor. No wonder. He probably can't find a wife, so he came here to marry Ping. That should be it. Haha, that's right. Otherwise, with such a handsome face, it would be very easy to find a wife. His family is probably too poor. How could an ordinary family bear to let their daughter marry into a poor family and suffer? Speaking of which, this Ping girl is dressed so nicely. If she uses this kind of sedan to receive her in-laws, I wonder what they will think. What can she think? It's not like she doesn't know that her mother-in-law's family is poor. Since she's willing to marry over, she naturally knows. It's fine as long as Ping doesn't complain. Yes, as long as Ping doesn't complain and is happy, it's fine. Ha ha. The gossipers chattered one after another. Zhao Yun squinted her eyes to look at Qin Yuan's family. Seeing Qin Yuan's long face, she knew that he didn't seem to be happy. It was understandable. It would be abnormal if he was happy to marry such an ugly woman like Zhao Ping. Chapter 1036. The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched, and she said indifferently, "That's my sister Pinger's business, not me. The family Qin is poor, and they don't care about sister Ping. Naturally, they won't be willing to spend money to rent a good sedan chair. Say, that's really stingy. When your sister Ping marries into that family in the future, I'm 80% sure that her in-laws won't treat her well." Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips. Sister-in-law Mu Lan, don't worry about it. I already said that it's best that way. Haha, okay. Let's not talk about it. Let's take a rest and watch the show for a while. Zhao Yun'er responded. As the family Qin people walked closer, the sound of the gong also became louder. The young family members in the room hurriedly said, "Ping your husband is here. He's already in the courtyard. He's here. As these people spoke, Zhao Ping couldn't hold back her excitement and asked patiently, "Really?" "It's true. Little Ping. Listen, the sound of the gong is really loud." Zhao Ping stretched her ears to listen for a while. It was true. Ge Juan really came. He really came. That's great. It seems that Ge Juan didn't come so late because he ran away from the marriage. Zhao Ping quickly jumped up from the bed and looked like she was about to run out. Liang Jinqiao saw that and hurriedly pulled Liang Jinqiao back. He said to Zhao Ping, Ping, where are you going? Mother, didn't you say that Ge Juan is here? I'm going out now to see Ge Juan and leave with him. After Zhao Ping said that, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. He said to Zhao Ping, Ping, are you kidding? Nonsense. Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinqiao in confusion and asked Liang Jinqiao, Mother, I'm going out. How is that nonsense? I can't let Ge Juan wait for too long. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but say, Ping, you really don't know any rules. How can you be like this? No rush, no rush. Let's wait for that child Qin Yuan to come over first. Mom. Zhao Ping looked very anxious. What if Brother Yuan leaves after waiting for a long time? Don't worry, he won't. It's fine if you get married, but you have to follow the rules. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at when you get married? Liang Jinqiao said helplessly. If it weren't for her stopping her, Zhao Ping would probably have really rushed out of the room. Well, Mother, I'll wait for a while more. Zhao Ping said bashfully. When she sat back on the bed, Zhao Ping felt as if she was performing acupuncture. Her heart had long flown out, and she was eager to leave with Qin Yuan as soon as possible. Zhao Ping's attitude inevitably became a joke in the eyes of others. The Liang family covered their mouths and snickered. They had seen unreserved girls before, but they had never seen a girl as unreserved as Zhao Ping. Thinking about Liang Jinqiao and Zhao Wenhua, they felt really tired to have such a mentally retarded daughter to worry about. Guo Caixia said with a smile, Since the person who came to pick up the bride is here, let's go out and go through the procedures. Yes, let's go. Saying that, the people in the room went out. Whether it was Zhao Yun'er's aunts or cousins, they all walked out curiously. Chapter 1037. As the saying goes, what kind of person is matched with what kind of person? With Zhao Ping's ugly appearance, she could only be matched with an incomparably ugly man. But after seeing them, they realized that the truth was completely different from what they had imagined. They saw that among the men who came to receive the bride, there was a very handsome man wearing a red wedding robe. This man was much better looking than the average man in the village. When they saw Qin Yuan, their first reaction was that he was good-looking. Their second reaction was that an ugly woman like Zhao Ping could actually marry such a good-looking man. It was like a fresh flower stuck in cow dung. Ping Jie's husband is really handsome. Liang Xinzi sighed after seeing him. Liang Xinyue's heart was filled with jealousy. I say Jie, you're staring at a man and still saying such things. Don't you know what shame is? Liang Xinzi's mouth curved. I'm telling the truth, so what? The man I'm looking at isn't some other man, but Ping Jie's husband. Then you can't look at him. Why are you staring at Ping Jie's husband? Could it be that you want to snatch him? Facing Liang Xinyue's aggressive words, Liang Xinzi was too lazy to argue with Liang Xinyue. Jie, I'm not as dirty as you think. I'm just happy for Ping Jie. After all, such a good-looking man can't be married to most people. Liang Xinzi's words were very hypocritical in Liang Xinyue's eyes. That's enough. Big sister Stop pretending. You're just envious of Ping Jie. I reckon that she also wants to marry such a handsome man. Liang Xinzi chuckled. When did I say that? Jie, don't speak nonsense. Could it be that it's not true? Am I the only one who knows? Why is it that little sister has become a roundworm in my stomach and knows better than I do? Keep being stubborn. Liang Xinyue snorted and continued to look at Qin Yuan. Although Qin Yuan was quite handsome, his family was too poor. They actually came to pick up the bride in such a shabby sedan chair. If it were her, she probably wouldn't be willing to go up. It was really embarrassing to be married in such a sedan. It's beautiful, but it's too poor. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't want it. Only someone like Sister Pinger is suitable, Liang Xinyue muttered. The corners of Liang Xinzi's mouth curled up again. Her cousin was just like that. For the sake of money, She didn't care about a man's looks. The family that Liang Xinyue talked to was quite well-to-do, but the man was too wild. After all, there was a butcher in his family, and he had a murderous aura. He was about the same as an ordinary butcher. He was tall and sturdy, had a full beard, and looked fierce. He was clearly in his early 20s, but he looked like a man in his 30s or 40s. With just a glance, people didn't want to continue looking. Liang Xinyue was like a little lamb in front of this kind of man. Liang Xinzi was worried that her cousin wouldn't be able to handle this kind of man. Wasn't she afraid that she would be eaten up without spitting out any bones? In any case, if it were her, she wouldn't be with someone else just because they were rich. She would feel disgusted if she was with that kind of man. The Qin family arrived at old Zhao's courtyard. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao came out to receive them. The two families first chatted for a while, then followed the procedure. They stayed at old Zhao's house for about 10 minutes before letting Zhao Ping'er go out. Chapter 1038. Really, second aunt? Second aunt? Zhao Ping'er happily asked. It's okay, really. Wu Zhenju supported Zhao Ping'er as he spoke. Come on, Ping-er. Second aunt will send you out. Okay, thank you, second aunt. Zhao Ping'er said and quickly got up from the bed. Seeing that her daughter was about to get married, Liang Jinqiao suddenly felt a little reluctant to part with her. After she married into her husband's family, she would not be able to see them often like she did in her mother's family. A married daughter was like spilled water, and she would have fewer opportunities to be with her mother's family. After all, she was her daughter. No matter how much Zhao Ping'er tormented her in daily life, she would feel sad now that she was about to get married. Liang Jinqiao's eyes reddened slightly, and she wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Ping'er. Liang Jinqiao pulled Zhao Ping'er's hand, and she was a little reluctant to let Zhao Ping'er leave. Mother, what do you want to say? Zhao Ping'er originally wanted to go out immediately, so she was very happy. However, before she went out, Liang Jinqiao pulled her again, so she couldn't help but ask impatiently. Liang Jinqiao sobbed, wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, and reminded Zhao Ping'er, Ping'er, when you go to your husband's family, don't act like you're in your mother's family. After all, you're not their daughter, and they won't dote on you too much. When you're in their family, you have to be diligent. You can't be lazy, or they'll dislike you. Also, you have to be filial and serve your in-laws well. Liang Jinqiao reminded her a few times, and she talked for a long time. Her hand held Zhao Ping'er's hand tightly, and she said to Zhao Ping'er. The more Zhao Ping'er listened, the more impatient she became. Her mother was really. Usually, she didn't say anything. Now that she was in a hurry to go out, she pulled her hand and talked non-stop. Therefore, Zhao Ping'er said to Liang Jinqiao unhappily, Mother, you've said so much. Are you done? I'm going out. If there's anything, we can talk about it later. Liang Jinqiao looked at Zhao Ping'er helplessly, as if a basin of cold water had been poured over his heart. She couldn't bear to part with Zhao Ping'er, but Zhao Ping'er's heart wasn't with her. Forget it. It was useless for him to say anything more. It was better to let Zhao Ping'er leave quickly. Therefore, Liang Jinqiao did not continue to hide it from Zhao Ping'er. Instead, he asked Zhao Ping'er to go out. Watching Zhao Ping'er leave, Liang Jinqiao sighed slightly. With this girl's temperament, it would be strange if her in-laws didn't criticize her. Liang Jinyu comforted from the side. Big sister, don't worry about it. The grandchildren will have their own blessings. Who knows, Ping'er might become more sensible after she marries over. Liang Jinqiao sighed and shook his head. Sigh, forget it. We can only do this. After Zhao Ping'er went out, she became even more excited when she heard the commotion outside. Once she thought of Qin Yuan, Zhao Ping'er couldn't hold it in anymore. It was great that she was finally married to her big brother Yuan. She was dressed so nicely today. She wondered what big brother Yuan would think when he saw her. Would he think that she looked stunning like this? Zhao Ping'er was also curious about how Qin Yuan was dressed and whether it looked good. Her family was Yuan, and he was already handsome. If he wore a wedding dress and dressed up properly, he would definitely be even more handsome. Zhao Ping'er couldn't help but secretly lift up the red veil, wanting to take a look. Before she could see anything, Wu Zhenju pressed it down. Ping, you can't lift it up. You can't lift it up. Wait until the groom lifts it up for you at night. Then you can lift it up. Chapter 1039. Look, Pinger girl. What are you looking at? Wu Zhenju asked. Zhao Pinger said shyly. Second aunt, I want to see my husband. Wu Zhenju chuckled. Pinger girl, your husband is very good looking. Pinger girl, it's not like you haven't seen him before. After you get married, you can take a good look at him at night. There's no need to rush things now. Zhao Pinger nodded when she heard that. Okay, second aunt, I understand. Hee Pinger girl, it's good that you understand. Cover your head properly and don't let anyone see you. Okay, second aunt. Zhao Pinger nodded cooperatively. Wu Zhenju brought Zhao Pinger to Qin Yuan. He said to Qin Yuan, Here, groom, I'll bring the bride to you. Thank you, Qin Yuan said. Looking at Zhao Pinger standing in front of him, he felt that she was different from usual. Zhao Pinger was wearing a bright red wedding dress. If he didn't think of Zhao Pinger's face, he would have thought that she was a great beauty. Thinking of Zhao Pinger's face, Qin Yuan couldn't help but frown. Mu Chunfeng saw Zhao Pinger's outfit today and said with a smile, Pinger girl is really beautiful today. Yuan, you're lucky. Mu Chunfeng's intention was to tell Qin Yuan not to look so gloomy and unhappy. After all, it was a joyous occasion to get married. They couldn't just put on a sullen face and look unhappy. It was as if they were holding a funeral at home. How was this a joyous occasion? Heh, Qin Yuan snorted. Did he think that he was a fool? Only a fool would believe that. Okay, stop talking. Let Pinger get into the sedan chair. Wu Zhenju called out. Mu Chunfeng nodded and said, Yes, let Pinger get into the sedan chair first. Okay. With that, Mu Chunfeng helped Zhao Pinger into the sedan chair. Pinger girl, slow down. Don't bump into anything, Mu Chunfeng reminded her. Got it, mother. Zhao Pinger answered happily. Mu Chunfeng directly called her mother instead of Mu Chunfeng. After all, she was going to marry into the Qin family today, so she was a member of the Qin family. It was fine to change it now. Mu Chunfeng chuckled and replied, Okay. He was very happy to see Zhao Pinger. After all, he was marrying a wife. No matter how bad Zhao Pinger was, she was still a normal woman. She could bear children in the future and carry on their family Qin family line. Let's go. Mu Chunfeng said after carrying Zhao Pinger into the sedan chair. The people carrying the sedan chair lifted it up a little. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound. Everyone was stunned. They didn't know what had happened. Then, they saw that the bottom of the sedan chair was broken. Zhao Pinger fell out of the sedan chair. Zhao Pinger screamed as she fell to the ground. Pinger girl, what happened? Mu Chunfeng quickly asked. Mother, it hurts. Zhao Pinger complained. Why did the sedan chair fall apart? Mu Chunfeng saw the situation and quickly asked. Staring at the broken sedan chair, he was at a loss. They were supposed to pick up the bride. Why did the sedan chair suddenly fall apart? Great, how were they supposed to pick up the bride? Chapter 1040. Zhao Pinger grumbled and complained. How could they carry such a sedan chair over to her wedding like this? Although she knew that the Qin Yuan family was a little poor, they shouldn't do this. As Zhao Pinger fell, the red veil on her face suddenly fell off, revealing her frightening makeup underneath. Many people who didn't see Zhao Pinger's makeup were shocked by Zhao Pinger's appearance. Especially those who were carrying the sedan chair. Because they were right beside Zhao Pinger, they were frightened by Zhao Pinger and quickly ran away. There's a ghost. There's a ghost. There's a ghost. Help. For a moment, old Zhao's courtyard was in a mess. They were all frightened by Zhao Pinger's appearance. Mu Chunfeng looked towards Zhao Pinger. When he saw Zhao Pinger's face that was as white as a ghost, he originally wanted to help Zhao Pinger up. However, he was frightened by Zhao Pinger and fell back. He sat on the ground, still in shock, and patted his chest with his other hand. He muttered, Oh my God, there's a ghost. Zhao Pinger was still complaining because she was in pain from the fall. Mother, it hurts so much. Mother, why didn't you get me a good sedan chair? When Mu Chunfeng saw that Zhao Ping'er was talking to him, he was stunned for a moment before he realized that what he saw was not a ghost, but Zhao Ping'er. Ping'er girl? Mu Chunfeng asked uncertainly. Mother. Zhao Ping'er mumbled. Ah, Ping'er girl, how did you end up like this? You really scared me. As Mu Chunfeng spoke, he went in front of Zhao Ping'er and pulled Zhao Ping'er up from the ground. Mother. My butt is almost broken from the fall. After Zhao Ping'er complained, she wiped her face. Mother, don't I look good today? Mu Chunfeng swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva into his stomach. Look good. How could she look good? Zhao Ping'er looked even better than usual. She couldn't be described as ugly anymore. She was very scary. She was so scared that his soul almost left his body. He didn't know what happened to Zhao Ping'er that made her dress like this. Ping'er, you look worse than usual, Mu Chunfeng said weakly. Actually, if she really dressed up properly, she wouldn't look bad. Now that she looked like this, even a woman like Zhao Ping'er would be scared to death, let alone a man. It would be strange if his yuaner was willing to touch such a woman. Sigh. Mu Chunfeng sighed in his heart. Thinking about how pitiful his yuaner was, it was all his parents' fault. If he had money, he could also let Qin Yuan marry a beautiful girl. Now, he could only marry someone like Zhao Ping'er. Qin Yuan was really helpless about this. He could only think about it in the future. When their family situation improved, he could continue to arrange other marriages for Qin Yuan and find a presentable daughter-in-law. Qin Yuan glanced at Zhao Ping'er on the ground, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. He originally had some fantasies about Zhao Ping'er and thought that Zhao Ping'er could give him a surprise if she dressed up properly. He didn't expect to be surprised when he saw Zhao Ping'er's appearance. She didn't look like a bride at all. She looked like a female ghost. Qin Yuan's face instantly darkened. Idiot. Chapter 1041. No matter where he went, people would probably say that he married a ghost-like wife. The more Qin Yuan thought about it, the angrier he got. If she was ugly, he could tolerate it, but if she was stupid, he really couldn't accept it. Looking at Zhao Ping'er's ghost-like face, Qin Yuan really wanted to fling his sleeves and directly reject this marriage. Losing face now was better than losing face after marrying Zhao Ping'er. Mother. It's not that exaggerated, right? I just put on a bit more rouge. Rouge is good stuff. Zhao Ping'er muttered. AI. Okay, Ping'er girl, don't say any more. Hurry up and cover your head. Let's go back. Mu Chunfeng said as she picked up the red veil on the ground and covered Zhao Ping'er's head with it. Mu Chunfeng was worried that Qin Yuan would be angry if he saw Zhao Ping'er like this. What if Qin Yuan threw a tantrum and quit now? What should he do then? Anyway, this time, they had to marry Zhao Ping'er. Okay, mother, Zhao Ping'er replied resentfully. Mother, I can't still be sitting in this broken sedan, right? Otherwise, I'll fall again. Zhao Ping'er scolded. Mu Chunfeng suddenly felt very embarrassed. This. Ping'er girl, if you don't sit in this sedan, then you won't be able to sit in it. But mother, this is too dangerous. Zhao Ping'er muttered. Looking at the broken sedan, she didn't want to sit in it anymore, afraid that she would fall again if she sat in it. In the end, her life was still more important. She couldn't treat it as a joke. Mother, you said that you came to pick up the bride. Why didn't you spend money and rent a better sedan? Zhao Ping'er continued to complain. Mu Chunfeng suddenly didn't know what to say. Her family was poor, so she would save money wherever she could. He even borrowed a broken shell from someone and stuffed 2 eggs into it. Wasn't that just a waste of time? If he were to rent a good palanquin, it would cost at least a few hundred copper coins. There was no need to waste money, so they naturally wouldn't waste it. Moreover, he felt that although the palanquin was a little broken, who would have thought that it would be so broken after being used so carelessly? When Qin Yuan heard Zhao Ping'er's ridicule, he walked over unhappily and said to Zhao Ping'er, if you don't want to sit here, then don't sit here. Otherwise you can leave by yourself. Otherwise, don't come to my house. Today's wedding is cancelled. Hearing Qin Yuan's angry words, Zhao Ping'er was stunned. Big brother Yuan. Do you really think you're the daughter of a rich family? It's already good enough that there's a sedan to pick you up, yet you're still nagging about it. The corners of Zhao Ping'er's mouth twitched. She knew that Qin Yuan was angry. Hence she hurriedly said, Big brother Yuan, I'll sit here, all right? I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Qin Yuan snorted softly. Mu Chunfeng hurriedly said to Qin Yuan, Yuaner, today is a joyous day. Don't be angry. Don't make a fuss. We've wronged Ping'er. It's our fault. Don't be so fierce. It's fine now. Let's go. Only then did Qin Yuan's stiff face soften a little. He continued to snort softly and didn't want to bother with Zhao Ping'er anymore. This was probably the first time he had ever felt so stifled after marrying a wife. Mu Chunfeng hurriedly pulled Zhao Ping'er and said, Ping'er, come. Mother will help you in. It's tight now. Don't fall out again. Zhao Ping'er nodded. She didn't want to fall out either. The quality was too poor. Could she be blamed? Chapter 1042. When Zhao Ping'er sat in the sedan chair again, she followed Mu Chunfeng's instructions and held the sedan chair's door tightly, afraid that she would fall out. Let's go, let's go. Mu Chunfeng shouted again and called out to the men who were carrying the sedan chair. After the sedan chair was lifted again, Zhao Ping'er said to Liang Jinqiao and Zhao Wenhua, In-laws, we've taken Ping'er away. Don't worry, we'll definitely treat Ping'er well. You can go now. Zhang Wenhua replied. Seeing that his daughter was taken away, Zhao Wenhua was also sad and reluctant to part with her. After all, once she got married, she would be part of someone else's family, and it would be different from his own family. After Mu Chunfeng, Zhao Wenhua, and Liang Jinqiao finished greeting each other, he pulled Qin Yuan and said, Yuaner, don't just stand there. Let's go. Okay. Qin Yuan responded reluctantly. After Liang Jinfen took Qin Yuan away, old Zhao's family watched as the family Qin left. After the family Qin's people left, the courtyard began to talk again. Wu Zhenju walked in front of Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao and said to Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao, Sister brother-in-law, your in-laws are not very good. You actually used such a shabby sedan chair to pick up the bride. Originally, you had dressed Ping'er up beautifully in hopes that she would get married in a grand manner. But now, this in-law's family has made such a shabby sedan chair. She's getting married in such a shabby manner. Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinqiao smiled embarrassedly and said, It's okay. Family Qin is poor, so we don't care about this. They couldn't possibly say that they cared, right? At the very least, he had to leave some face for himself. Wu Zhenju also smiled and said, Elder sister, elder brother-in-law, you two are really generous. If my Yuer married into such a family and became like this, I would definitely scold her. Our situation is different. Liang Jinqiao replied weakly. He really didn't want to continue talking about this topic. It was really embarrassing to talk about it. Guo Zixia smiled and said, Second sister-in-law, you can't compare like this. Yuer has found a good marriage. Not everyone can find such a good marriage like Yuer. Speaking of this, Wu Zhenju was a little proud. Of course. My Yuer is pretty and has a good life. That means she can find a rich husband. Elder sister-in-law, my Yuer's marriage is almost set. Your Zier's marriage needs to be arranged quickly. Zier is not bad. Maybe she can find a good marriage like my Yuer. Wu Zhenju was just saying it to show off. He didn't really want Liang Shizi to find a good marriage. If she found one, she would feel sad. Sisters-in-law were like this. No one could see the other doing well. Guo Zixia's expression didn't change. He smiled and replied, Of course. But you still have to find a good marriage partner. Other than the qualifications, the character is also another. The main thing is that my Zier won't have to suffer hardships when she gets married. It's fine as long as he can take care of my Zier. Wu Zhenju snorted softly. He felt that Guo Zixia was really good at pretending. It was all because she hadn't found anyone rich yet that she said that. If she could really find a rich marriage partner, his sister-in-law would definitely show off in front of him. Now, he could only be envious of their Yuer. Chapter 1043. Wu Zhenju said sarcastically to Guocaixia. The two sisters-in-law instantly became unhappy. Liang Jinhui came out and said with a smile, "We were just talking about Ping Er. Why are the two of you talking now?" Liang Jinhui was worried that Wu Zhenju and Guocaixia would quarrel again. It was fine if they quarreled in the Liang residence. After all, the door was closed and no one would know. However, they were in Zhao Yun'er's house now. There were so many people watching. If they quarreled, they would become a laughingstock. Got it. Wu Zhenju responded. Zhao Wenhua sighed deeply and said to Wu Zhenju, "It's not that we don't want to choose our in-laws. It's just that Ping Er's qualifications are there. If she's like you, then we can choose carefully. Ping Er's looks are too shabby. It's good enough that a man is willing to marry her. What's there to be picky about?" After hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Wu Zhenju couldn't make fun of him even if he wanted to. Zhao Wenhua was telling the truth. It was good enough that Zhao Ping Er got married. What's there to be picky about? Brother-in-law, you're right. It's just that I don't know if Ping Er will suffer if she marries him, Wu Zhenju said again. Zhao Wenhua waved his hand. It's her business whether she'll suffer or not. Since Ping Er is willing to marry him, it's her decision. He has to be responsible for it. Wu Zhenju smiled embarrassedly. But Ping Er is so happy today. Of course she's willing. I can't wait to run to her house. Zhao Wenhua's expression stiffened. He felt very awkward when he thought about what Zhao Ping Er had done today. It wasn't just awkward. It was embarrassing. He couldn't think about these things anymore. Otherwise, he would lose face. Zhao Wenhua had no choice but to call out to the Liang family. Eldest brother, second brother, eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, go inside and rest. The banquet will start in the afternoon. When it came to serious matters, the topic immediately changed. Yes, brother-in-law is right. Let's quickly sit down and wait for the banquet to start. After entertaining the Liang family, Zhao Wenhua caught up with Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianan went to the other houses in the village to prepare the tables and chairs for the banquet. And they didn't seem to have any intention of helping. Of course, they treated themselves as guests. There was no reason for them. Which was why they acted. Of course, Zhao Yunlong did not count on these people at all. After all, he knew the Liang family's character. They might be unreliable. After a while, Zhao Wenhua brought Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianhu back with the tables and chairs. The family continued to get busy. Zhao Yun'er, Liang Jinqiao, Mu Lan, Mu Hin, and old Madame Chen were busy in the kitchen. This banquet was very important, because the people of the third branch worked very hard. If the banquet was done well, the third branch's face would look much better. They had to do it well. Because Zhao Yun'er was busy, there was a burst of fragrance coming from the kitchen. The people in the courtyard swallowed their saliva. What did old Zhao's third branch do? Why is it so fragrant? I've never seen a banquet with such a fragrant smell. Yes, I want to eat just by smelling it. My stomach is growling. Chapter 1044. Who's the chef today? It smells so good. Did they specially invite a chef from the town? I don't know. Maybe so. The smell is too strong. It's too tempting. I wasn't hungry at first, but I'm starting to feel hungry after smelling it. Yeah, I don't know when we can start eating. I can't wait anymore. Me too, me too. I want to eat. Let's wait a little longer. It should take a while at the beginning. It's not time yet. We shouldn't have come to join in the fun. The smell is so tempting. Our hearts itch when we can't eat it. Isn't that so? Why don't we go back first and come back when the banquet starts? Otherwise, we won't be able to stand the smell. Forget it, let's wait. If we go back now, we'll have to come back later. It's too troublesome. All right then, let's go out and start the banquet earlier. The people who came to join in the fun happened to have nothing to do, so they chatted one after another. They were all curious about what they could eat for lunch. Although they hadn't seen it yet, they guessed that it must be something delicious when they smelled the aroma. This time, they truly felt the change in the third branch's life. Not to mention Zhao Pinger's wedding dress, the most important thing was to prepare the dishes and let everyone eat and drink to their heart's content. The people in the countryside were particular about face. Generally, people would feel proud when they entertained guests at banquets. There was no doubt that the third branch was successful this time. By 11 a.m., the stools were neatly arranged, and the people who were supposed to come had basically arrived. Zhao Wenhua had been busy because he had to arrange for the guests to sit down. Zhao Yunlong divided the tables among the people who came. Basically, men sat together with men, and women sat together with women. Because men could drink together, it wasn't so convenient for men and women to sit at the same table. However, the people who came to drink were mostly men. Out of the 10 tables, 8 were occupied by men, and 2 were occupied by women. After all, in the countryside, women didn't have much status in the family. Good things like going out to drink naturally fell to the men. Unless there were no men at home or the men had something to do, they would let the women go out to drink. The original plan was to have 10 tables, so there should be enough seats. However, with so many people from the Liang family coming at once, the 10 tables could not fit them all. Looking at this situation, Zhao Yunlong was very embarrassed, but more than that, he was anxious. I don't think there's enough space. What should I do? Zhao Wenhua muttered. He thought that if the Liang family did not take a seat, then it could be arranged. Father, can't you sit down? Zhao Yun walked in front of Zhao Wenhua and asked. Zhao Yunlong sighed slightly, nodded, and replied. Father, if you can't sit, then tell eldest aunt, and second aunt not to sit. Men can go to the table. Why do women need to go to the table? Zhao Yun said directly. Zhao Wenhua frowned, looking very conflicted. Yuna, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know what to say. After all, Zhao Wenhua cared about his face, so it was not good for him to say such things. Zhao Yun saw that her father was timid in a place where he shouldn't be timid. Chapter 1045. After Zhao Yun finished speaking with Zhao Wenhua, she went straight to the Liang family and explained the situation. Zhao Yun was very direct and did not care about her reputation at all. She used a commanding tone and did not allow the women from the Liang family to sit. Liang Jinfen was the first to be unhappy. He jumped out and said to Zhao Yun I say, Yun girl, can you get another table for us to eat at? Zhao Yun did not expect Liang Jinfen to be so thick-skinned and say such things. She snorted and said, Second aunt, my family had planned to set up 10 tables for the banquet, but we did not expect so many of you to come. We only prepared 10 tables, so we can't prepare another table. Yun girl, then we won't have anything to eat. That won't do. There are so many of us. How can we not have anything to eat? You have to think of a way to arrange a table for us, Liang Jinfen said anxiously. That's right, Ping, girl. If we don't go to the table, what are we going to eat? Wu Zhenju followed Liang Jinfen and agreed. Zhao Yun rolled her eyes. She really did not want to talk about this topic with them. Was she the one who asked so many of them to come? They came one by one to freeload on food and drink. She did not know where they got the face from. It was fine that they came, but who did they think they were? They clearly knew that there were not enough seats, but they still wanted to sit at the table. Second aunt, then what do you think we should do? Don't tell me that we should arrange for you to sit at the table and chase the others away? Zhao Yun sneered and her tone was full of sarcasm. We did not say that we would definitely sit at the table, but you have to let us arrange it, right? We can't just sit there and watch the people outside eat without eating, right? Liang Jinfen did not give up and replied. Zhao Yun smiled and said to Liang Jinfen, I didn't say that you can't eat. When my family's banquet is done and there are leftovers, you can bring them over to eat. You have to arrange it for the guests first. How can we do that? Wu Zhenju quickly refused. How can we eat leftovers? Yun, girl, how are you going to arrange this? We are your elders. If you don't welcome us, you can just say so. You don't have to use this method to disgust us, right? Zhao Yun looked at them coldly. How interesting. So they knew it. If that's the case, then why did they purposely come over? Weren't they deliberately trying to take advantage of her? Now they admitted it. Zhao Yun only thought it was funny. This arrangement. Don't tell me that we have to entertain you first and then entertain the guests? Wouldn't that be embarrassing our family? Those who don't know might think that we are unwilling to let the guests eat. You girl! Liang Jinshan and Wu Zhenju were about to argue with Zhao Yun when old Madame Liang stood up and mediated. All right. Stop arguing. Isn't there no other way? Yuna girl's words are not without reason. It's fine as long as we can eat. Why do we have to pick so much? After all, we didn't inform Yuner before we came. That's why Yuner's mother didn't prepare in advance. Zhao Yun looked at old Madame Liang again. Although this old lady was a little old, her eyes were very clear and bright, and she was also very bright. What she said was reasonable. Unlike the other people in the Liang family, Zhao Yun had a much better impression of old Madame Liang. Chapter 1046. Zhao Yun took another look at old Madame Liang and had a good impression of her. Guo Caixia also agreed. That's right, let's just eat casually. We don't have a choice, right? Let's not cause trouble for eldest sister's family. It's a joyous occasion today, and eldest sister's family is busy enough. Wu Zhenju glanced at Guo Caixia. This sister-in-law of hers was really good at pretending to be a good person. Her words were really pleasant to hear. Although Wu Zhenju had opinions in his heart, it was not good for him to express them. Because old Madame Liang had already spoken up, what else could she say? If she said too much, it would probably make old Madame Liang unhappy. At that time, old Madame Liang would think that she did not know the rules as well as her sister-in-law. Naturally, she would be biased towards the first branch. Now that the Liang family's money was in old Madame Liang's hands, Wu Zhenju did not know how much money old Madame Liang had in her hands. Now that the Fun family was not involved, he definitely could not offend old Madame Liang. Thus, Wu Zhenju smiled and said, Yes. Mother, you're right. Let's not eat at the table. Let's just eat casually. Yun, if there's any leftover meat later, you have to bring it over for us. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched. This second aunt of hers was really not embarrassed to say anything. Got it. Yun, you can go out and do your work. The few of us will wait in the room. Wu Zhenju pretended to be considerate and said this. Zhao Yun, responded faintly. Just as she was about to go out, she pulled Liang Jinyu and said, Aunt, don't stand in the room. Go out and sit outside to eat. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yun with some confusion. Yun, didn't you say that there aren't enough seats outside? You can go and let others sit. I'll just stay in the room. Liang Jinyu was different from the rest of the Liang family. She was genuinely concerned about Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun smiled and said, It's okay, Auntie. There's only one person from your family here. There's enough seats for you. I see. Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. At this time, Liang Jinfen came over and said to Liang Jinyu, Little sister, if you don't want to go out and do it, then let me go out. I'll take your place at the table. Liang Jinfen thought that eating at the table was better than hiding in the house and eating leftovers. Since there was a seat for Liang Jinyu, she could sit there and eat. Liang Jinfen shamelessly suggested it herself, so Liang Jinyu couldn't refuse. After all, she was her second sister. Zhao Yuner was unhappy. How could they bully people like this? Second aunt, the seat should be taken by youngest aunt. What's the reason for you to replace it? Yuner, your youngest aunt hasn't said anything yet. Why do you care so much? This is my house. Of course I care. You. Zhao Yuner couldn't be bothered to talk to Liang Jinfen. She directly pulled Liang Jinyu out. After arranging for Liang Jinyu to sit at the table, Zhao Yuner reminded Liang Jinyu, Youngest aunt, don't let them sit. After all, you brought the gift money over. Youngest uncle hasn't come yet. If you don't come to the table today, my father and mother will have to go to your house to return the gift. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Liang Jinyu didn't want Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao to go to her house to return the gift. She could only nod and agree. Okay, Yuner, I know. I'll eat at the table myself. I won't let anyone else eat. Chapter 1047. After solving the problem of not having enough seats, Zhao Yun turned around and entered the kitchen to continue working. After settling the guests down, Zhao Wenhua went to the courtyard to set off a string of firecrackers, because the banquet had begun. Piping hot and fragrant dishes were served from the kitchen. The freshly cooked dishes were placed on the table. When the guests tasted Zhao Yuner's cooking, they were all praising how delicious it was. It wasn't that they hadn't eaten banquets before. Some banquets were even prepared by the chefs of the restaurants. However, they felt that the dishes made by the chefs were not as good as Zhao Yuner's dishes. It's so delicious. Yes, it's delicious, too delicious. I've eaten so many banquets, but this is the first time I've eaten such good food. Isn't that so? But who is the one who cooked this dish? Speaking of this question, all of them looked at Zhao Wenhua. Brother Wenhua, which restaurant chef did your family invite for today's banquet? Yes, tell me. When my family holds a banquet later, I'll invite him back too. How much do we have to pay the chef for this banquet? Is it a few hundred copper coins? Or a few taels of silver? I think it's a few taels of silver. I've eaten the dishes made by a chef before. I heard that he was paid 2 taels of silver a day, but it's not as good as the dishes made by Brother Wenhua's family today. Everyone at the dining table began to interrogate Zhao Wenhua. Usually, when the villagers held banquets, other than the ones made by their own family, those who had a little bit of money would go to the town to find a chef to cook. However, if they invited a chef back, the salary for a day's work was not small. The cheaper ones were a few hundred copper coins, and the more expensive ones were a few taels of silver. Looking at the dishes made by Zhao Yuner's family, it should be worth a few taels of silver. If that was really the case, then it could only be said that Zhao Yuner's family was too rich. They were so rich that they could invite such an expensive chef back. How could an ordinary villager have the money to do so? In the face of these people's interrogation, Zhao Wenhua smiled. My family didn't invite a chef back. It was my second daughter Yuner who made it. When Zhao Wenhua mentioned Zhao Yuner, he couldn't hide the smile on his face, and there was a bit of pride in his tone. After all, Zhao Yuner's dishes today were unanimously praised by everyone at the dinner table, which made him feel very proud. When they heard Zhao Wenhua said that it was made by Zhao Yuner, they were slightly surprised. Ah, it was actually made by Yun's. That's right, Yuner's skills are so good. That's right, it's even better than the food cooked by the chefs in the restaurant. That's why the heir took a fancy to her. I think Yuner must have her own unusual aspects. Now that I look at it, it is indeed so. Just based on her cooking skills, in our village. No, in our town, we might not be able to find someone who can cook better than Yuner. Yuner's skills can directly be a chef. These people, one after another, praised Zhao Yuner to the sky. Other than those who sincerely thought that Zhao Yuner was amazing, there were also those who flattered Zhao Wenhua to make him happy and get close to Zhao Wenhua. Chapter 1048. Now that Zhao Yuner's family was not only rich, but they also had Mu Lianfeng as their backer. Ordinary people would not dare to offend them. Zhao Wenhua laughed heartily upon hearing these people's words. He was in a very good mood. You're flattering me, you're flattering me. My Yuner only made some home-cooked dishes. It just so happens that you guys like them. Since everyone thinks it's delicious, eat more. As he spoke, Zhao Wenhua also greeted the people at the other tables. In addition to good dishes, there was also good wine today. The men drank wine and ate at the same time. They were very comfortable. Brother Wenhua, we're not flattering you. Haha, Yuner's cooking is so delicious. When I hold a banquet later, I wonder if I can invite Yuner over to be my chef. When the time comes, I can pay Yuner. Someone suggested at this time. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, I can't make that decision. I have to ask Yuner. Yuner has to be willing to go. Haha, of course. I have to ask for Yuner's opinion. Yes. The dining table was very lively, but the kitchen was getting busier. Dishes were constantly being cooked and served. Other than Zhao Yuner, who was very busy, Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianan did not rest either. They were constantly running back and forth. It was indeed difficult to serve a 10-table banquet. They had to serve the new dishes and take back the plates that they had finished eating. This was considered physical work. Fortunately, the two of them were strong young men. Although they were a little tired when they were busy, They were not so tired that they could not move. Seeing Zhao Tianan constantly busy, Mu Hin felt a little distressed. While waiting for the dishes to be served, Mu Hin walked up to Zhao Tianan, took out her handkerchief, and wiped Zhao Tianan's head. She said to Zhao Tianan, "Tianan, let me wipe your sweat. You're sweating a lot." Zhao Tianan met Mu Hin's eyes and did not refuse. After Mu Hin finished wiping, he said to Mu Hin, "Mu Hin, thank you." Mu Hin lowered her head shyly. "You're welcome." Zhao Tianan smiled, revealing a little white teeth. His canine teeth were even more adorable. Mu Xian took some leftovers from the side. They weren't leftovers from others, but leftovers that hadn't been served yet. She took a small bowl and prepared to feed Tianan. "Tianan, you've been busy for so long and you haven't eaten anything. Eat a little now, or else you'll starve. It'll take more energy to serve the dishes later." Zhao Tianan glanced at Mu Hin again, thought for a moment, and nodded. "Okay, I'll eat some first." Okay, Mu Hin said, and put a spoonful into Zhao Tianan's mouth. Zhao Tianhu watched from the side, feeling very envious. Zhao Tianan had people who cared about him, loved him and cared for him, but he had none. He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. Why did Zhao Tianan have girls who cared about him, but he did not? He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. If Zhao Tianan was married, but he as his cousin did not, how embarrassing would that be? Sigh. Zhao Tianhu sighed softly. Zhao Yuan'er heard this and asked, "Second cousin, what's wrong with you? Why are you sighing? Are you tired? If you're tired, you can rest for a while." Zhao Tianhu smiled and waved his hand. No. I'm tired." Then Zhao Yuan'er looked at Zhao Tianhu curiously. Chapter 1049. Zhao Yuan'er raised her eyebrows curiously. "What's wrong with Tianan?" "Tianan is so lucky. There are other girls who care for him, and you're feeding him food, but I don't." After saying that, Zhao Tianhu pursed his lips, feeling a little wronged and frustrated. Zhao Yuan'er giggled. She thought that her second cousin was really funny and had a lot of fun talking. When Zhao Tianan heard Zhao Tianhu's words, he blushed slightly and didn't dare to take the food that Mu Hin handed over. Mu Hin also stood at the side shyly. "I say, second cousin, do you also want a woman to care for you and love you? Isn't the one you went on a blind date with pretty good? If you marry her, you'll be able to enjoy life like Tianan." Zhao Yuan'er joked. She wondered if all men were the same. Once they reached a certain age, they would want to marry and have a woman to accompany and take care of them. Even if I wanted to marry her, I might not be able to. Maybe she doesn't like me. I'm not as lucky as Tianan." Zhao Tianhu mumbled. Zhao Yuan'er patted Zhao Tianhu's shoulder and comforted him. "Second cousin, don't think too badly. You have good qualities, so why wouldn't she like you? Don't worry, I think it'll work." After being comforted by Zhao Yuan'er, Zhao Tianhu's mood improved a lot. "Little sister Yuan'er, you really think highly of me. With your words, I feel much more at ease. I'm just telling the truth. Come, second cousin, there aren't any other girls to feed you. Let me feed you." As Zhao Yuan'er spoke, she brought some food over and handed it to Zhao Tianhu's mouth. Zhao Tianhu's face reddened slightly. "Little sister Yuan'er, this is okay." Zhao Tianhu was a little shy, and both sides of his face turned red. "What's wrong with that? Come, let's eat." Unable to resist Zhao Yuan'er's enthusiasm, Zhao Tianhu finally ate it. "Thank you, little sister Yuan'er." "You're welcome, second cousin. Just wait until you get married in the future." Zhao Tianhu responded. After hearing Zhao Yuan'er's words, his heart became more and more expectant. If he could have a wife, what kind of feeling would it be? Wouldn't it be wonderful? While Zhao Yuan'er was busy, on the other side, the family Qin people carried Zhao Ping'er back home. Along the way, Qin Yuan's face was dark and sullen. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping'er angry. This woman only knew how to embarrass him. She thought about how Zhao Ping'er was dressed. Qin Yuan was even more furious. She was such an ugly woman. Later, he would have to go through the wedding ceremony with her. Did he do something bad in his previous life? Did he kill a lot of people? Was that why God treated him like this? Just as he was deep in thought, there was a sudden loud noise. The whole sedan chair collapsed. Zhao Ping sat on the ground and cried out in pain. Ouch, what's going on? Why did the sedan chair collapse? Mu Chunfeng asked anxiously. The two men carrying the sedan chair were helpless. We don't know. It collapsed while we were carrying it. It's probably because the sedan chair was too old and couldn't bear the weight. Didn't we say before we came that the sedan chair might not be able to hold it? See, we were right, weren't we? It's not my fault that the sedan chair is broken. Chapter 1050. If she had known that this would happen, she would not have used such a broken sedan. Unfortunately, it was useless to regret now. She had already used it. What else could she do? Mu Chunfeng said to the men carrying the sedan. Don't blame you, don't blame you. Who said that I blame you? It's good that you don't blame us. We were just greeting you. This really has nothing to do with us. I know. Mu Chunfeng responded, her heart aching for the sedan. Zhao Ping lay on the ground and wanted to continue crying out in pain. Mother, it hurts so much. Mother, Mu Chunfeng did not have the mind to care about Zhao Ping. She said to Zhao Ping, Little Ping, get up yourself. Mother, I can't get up. The sedan is ruined. Mother, you shouldn't have come with such a frame. If I had known, I wouldn't have sat there. My butt is bleeding from the fall. Mu Chunfeng could not be bothered with Zhao Ping-er's ridicule. She was only concerned about what to do with the sedan. She was afraid that they would have to pay for it if they ruined the sedan. Although it was already broken enough and they could not be blamed for it being ruined, what could she do if they insisted on it? Qin Yuan walked to Zhao Ping-er and pulled Zhao Ping-er up from the ground. Isn't it all because of you? It must be because you are so heavy that you crushed the sedan. Faced with Qin Yuan's fierce reprimand, Zhao Ping-er pursed her lips and felt very wronged. Big brother Yuan. Just as she was about to say something, she was interrupted by Qin Yuan's cold voice. Enough. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping-er felt even more wronged. Big brother Yuan, I also didn't want to ruin the frame. You can't blame me for this. Enough. Don't say any more. I don't want to hear you say so much. If you want to get married, get up yourself and walk. There's no sedan to carry you now. Oh. Zhao Ping-er replied weakly. What could she do now? In order to be with Qin Yuan, she had no choice but to get up and walk. Qin Yuan did not have any intention of showing mercy. He pulled Mu Chunfeng and continued to rush forward. Mother, let's go back quickly. Don't waste too much time. Mu Chunfeng glanced at Zhao Ping-er and said to Qin Yuan, Yuan, there's no need to rush, right? Should we wait for Ping-er? Qin Yuan replied unhappily, What are you waiting for? There was no need to wait. Let her go by herself. You're already so old, yet you can't even keep up with us? Sigh. When Mu Chunfeng saw Qian Yan's dark expression, he didn't dare to say anything. He was afraid that he would make the Qin Yuan unhappy. She only called out to Zhao Ping-er, Ping-er, hurry up and catch up. Zhao Ping-er endured the pain in her butt and got up from the ground. She limped along. As she followed, she even called out to Qin Yuan and Mu Chunhua, Big brother Yuan, mother, can you guys walk slower and wait for me for a while? Big brother Yuan. No matter how Zhao Ping-er called out, Qin Yuan did not have any intention of responding to Zhao Ping-er. When they were about to reach the village, Qin Yuan walked in front of Zhao Yun-er and said to Zhao Ping-er, hurry up and cover your head with a veil. Don't let others see your ugly appearance. Zhao Ping-er could only respond and cover her head with the red veil according to Qin Yuan's instructions. Chapter 1051. Now that they were in the village, they had to maintain some dignity. Their family Qin didn't want to make a fool of themselves. After supporting Zhao Ping-er, they slowly entered the village. When the villagers saw Zhao Ping-er and Qin Yuan coming over, they began to shout. The bride and groom are here. The bride is here, the bride is here. Ah, she's finally back. The bride looks so beautiful in her clothes. She must be very beautiful too. Yes, the groom is so lucky. I didn't expect Qin Yuan to be able to marry a wife. His wife's clothes are not bad. He's really lucky. After these people chattered, Qin Yuan heard them and his face darkened even more. He couldn't help it even if he didn't want to. After all, he was really angry. Everyone was ridiculing him and looking down on him. It was too much. Fortunately, they didn't know what Zhao Ping-er looked like. If they knew what Zhao Ping-er looked like, it would be terrible. He didn't know what to say. However, since Zhao Ping-er had married into the village, Zhao Ping-er's appearance would be seen by the villagers one day. At the thought of this, Qin Yuan was very angry and frustrated. Why? Why was he so pitiful? He was very upset. He glanced at Zhao Ping-er and wanted to vent his anger on Zhao Ping-er. Obviously, now was not the time. With a sullen face, Qin Yuan took Zhao Ping-er back to the family Qin. When they returned to the family Qin, many people gathered in the family Qin to join in the fun. No matter how unhappy Qin Yuan was, in the end, he still bowed to heaven and earth with Zhao Ping-er. After that, he responded to the guests coming and going. After all, it was his wedding day, so he drank a lot of wine. After Zhao Ping-er was sent to the family Qin, she was left alone in the wedding room. No one paid attention to her. Zhao Ping-er was also very helpless. The family Qin people were all dealing with the guests and didn't have time to pay attention to her. However, Zhao Ping-er hadn't eaten anything to begin with, and after walking for such a long time, her stomach was starving. She began to grumble. Zhao Ping-er shouted outside the house for a while, but no one paid her any attention. After waiting for Mu Chunfang to enter the house, Zhao Ping-er said to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, I'm hungry." Mu Chunfang said indifferently, "It's okay, Ping-er girl. When we girls get married, it's always like this. You can't eat. Bear with it." In front of Mu Chunfang, Zhao Ping-er didn't dare to be as willful as she was in front of Liang Jinqiao. If she was in front of Liang Jinqiao, she would probably be crying for food. Zhao Ping-er suddenly remembered that before she left, Liang Jinqiao persuaded her to eat. In the end, she refused and didn't eat. Now, there was only regret. Why couldn't she be more obedient and eat? "But mother, I'm hungry, so hungry. I'm so hungry that my stomach is hurting." Zhao Ping-er whined pitifully. However, to Zhao Ping-er's disappointment, Mu Chunfang didn't pay any attention to her and didn't feel sorry for her. "Ping-er girl, there are still a lot of things to be done outside. Mother is going out to work. You stay in the house and don't wander around, okay?" After Mu Chunfang finished speaking, he directly went out of the house. Chapter 1052. At night, Qin Yuan was a drunken mess. Seeing that Qin Yuan was so drunk that he was unconscious, Mu Chunfang and Qin Dashan hurriedly dragged Qin Yuan into the room. The bridal chamber had to be consummated. Their family Qin did not have any grandchildren yet, and they were already old. People of their age in the village would have had grandchildren long ago. If something happened between Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping-er, although Qin Yuan would be wronged, if Zhao Ping-er could get pregnant, it would be a joyous occasion. Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang struggled for a while before they finally got Qin Yuan onto the wedding bed. Looking at the unconscious Qin Yuan, Mu Chunfang chuckled and said to Zhao Ping-er, "Ping-er Yuan is drunk. Hurry and serve him well. The two of you should sleep in the bridal chamber as soon as possible." Mu Chunfang specifically emphasized the word, bridal chamber. Zhao Ping-er was not a fool. She naturally knew what Mu Chunfang meant by the word, bridal chamber. She replied shyly, "Mother, I know. All right, then you two should rest. Father and mother won't disturb you anymore." Zhao Ping-er nodded heavily. She could not suppress the excitement in her heart. Looking at Qin Yuan's face, she was even more excited. Today, she really got her wish and got married to Qin Yuan. She had become a distant daughter-in-law. She did not dare to believe it when she said it. This period of time really passed quickly. It was over in a short while. What she had been hoping for was now a reality. Zhao Ping-er thought about the bridal chamber with Qin Yuan again, and her face flushed. Bridal chamber. They were really going to have a bridal chamber. After waiting for Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang to leave, Zhao Ping was like a hungry wolf. She could not wait to devour Qin Yuan. She could not help it. She really liked Qin Yuan too much. Once she thought about doing it with Qin Yuan, she could not suppress the restlessness in her heart. But now that Qin Yuan was unconscious, she did not know if he still had the ability to do it. Whoa. After Qin Yuan was drunk, he felt very uncomfortable and could not help but want to vomit. Zhao Ping hurriedly asked Qin Yuan with concern, "Brother Yuan, what's wrong?" "Brother Yuan, are you okay?" "Brother." Qin Yuan simply couldn't be bothered with Zhao Ping. Hearing Zhao Ping's voice, his brows tightly knit together. "Don't care about me, get lost." Why would Zhao Ping leave? Instead, she stuck to him even more. "Brother Yuan, woo, what's wrong with you? If you have something to say, just tell me. If you feel uncomfortable, I'll get you some water." "I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm fine. Just don't come near me." Although Qin Yuan's eyes were not open, his tone was still full of disdain. "Brother Yuan, you're my husband now. How can I not go near you? Brother Yuan, if you're fine, let's go to the bridal chamber." As she spoke, Zhao Ping began to tug Qin Yuan's clothes impatiently. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. "Don't touch me, Zhao Ping, you ugly woman. Try touching me again," Qin Yuan said angrily. Seeing Qin Yuan like this, Zhao Ping guessed that she would not be able to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan tonight. But when she thought of not being able to consummate their marriage, Zhao Ping felt very indignant. Chapter 1053. If she did not consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan, then even if she married Qin Yuan, it would be in name only. She did not want that to happen. Therefore, no matter what, she had to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan. "Big brother Yuan, since I'm married to you, I'm your wife. Which man won't let his woman touch him?" Zhao Ping grumbled in Qin Yuan's ear, feeling very wronged. "Ugly woman, don't even think about touching me. Let me tell you, I won't fancy an ugly woman like you. Just give up." Qin Yuan shouted. Although Qin Yuan was quite drunk, he still had a little bit of consciousness. He knew that the person in front of him was Zhao Ping. Once he thought of Zhao Ping, he felt very disgusted in his heart. However, because he drank too much, his eyelids were very heavy when he wanted to open his eyes. He could not open them even if he used all his strength. "Big brother Yuan." Boo-hoo. When Zhao Ping heard Qin Yuan's words, she could not help but choke with sobs. Why did he have to treat her like this? He was too much. These words were not enough to completely hurt Zhao Ping's heart. The main thing was that Qin Yuan shouted a few times after that. "Youngest aunt. Youngest aunt. Where? Where?" Zhao Ping was not a fool. She naturally knew who Qin Yuan was shouting for. It was her youngest aunt, Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping gritted her teeth in hatred. Her big brother Yuan was indeed still thinking about her youngest aunt in his heart. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping angry. He could have liked anyone, but he just had to like her youngest aunt. "Big brother Yuan, I'm your wife. You can't think of another woman in your heart." Zhao Ping muttered. Looking at Qin Yuan like this, even if she wanted to listen to him, he would not be able to hear her. Forget about consummating their marriage. No, she could not just let it go like this. Zhao Ping suddenly thought of the things she had prepared before, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly, forming a smile. Fortunately, she was very quick-witted. After listening to Ma Xiaofeng's words, she prepared the things. Otherwise, he really didn't know what to do with tonight's situation. Zhao Ping took out a small bag from the dowry she brought. Zhao Ping took out a stick of incense. Once the incense was lit, the smoke it produced had an aphrodisiac effect, similar to an aphrodisiac. Zhao Ping quickly took out a match, lit the incense, and placed it in the room. Not long after, smoke filled the entire room. Zhao Ping smelled the fragrance and felt her whole body start to heat up. Then, she had a very strong desire. Qin Yuan, who was lying on the bed, smelled the incense and his body began to heat up. Zhao Ping went in front of Qin Yuan and muttered beside Qin Yuan's ear, "Big brother Yuan, I'm so hot. I'm so hot. Help me." Big brother Yuan, Zhao Ping'er's voice was gentle and very seductive. Qin Yuan's situation was similar to Zhao Ping'er's. His body was very hot. After Qin Yuan felt that his body was hot, he started to take off his clothes piece by piece. Until he took off all the clothes on his body, he still felt abnormally hot. Zhao Ping'er had long been attracted by Qin Yuan's naked body. His eyes were fixed on Qin Yuan's body, looking back and forth. Previously, she had not even seen Qin Yuan's shirtless appearance, let alone taking off all his clothes. The more Zhao Ping'er looked, the hotter her body became. She could not help but lick the corners of her mouth. Big brother Yuan. Chapter 1054. Then, she impatiently took off her clothes. She wished she could strip herself naked and stick to Qin Yuan. After taking off all her clothes, Zhao Ping'er started to rub against Qin Yuan's body again. Big brother Yuan, I can't take it anymore. Hurry up and help me, big brother Yuan. As Zhao Ping'er spoke, she hugged Qin Yuan and started kissing him. Qin Yuan drank a lot of wine and was also affected by the burning passion incense. He was already delirious and did not have any self-awareness. He only felt that his body was burning up and desperately wanted to find something to vent. Coincidentally, Zhao Ping'er wrapped herself around his body and stuck her tongue into his mouth. Qin Yuan felt that something on his body was being aroused. He immediately pulled Zhao Ping'er over and pressed her under his body. Then, he started nibbling on Zhao Ping'er's body. Zhao Ping'er was pleasured by Qin Yuan and cried out for the entire night. She worked very hard, because she knew that the man who was riding on her body and plowing her with all his might was the man she loved. While Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan were doing it in another room, Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfeng were already overjoyed. They were originally worried that their son could not make it. Now, it seemed that there was no need to worry. The family Qin's room was poor, so it was not soundproof. They could hear Zhao Ping'er's cries more clearly. Looking at the situation, Qin Yuan had a lot of fun tonight. If they could do this every day, Zhao Ping'er would probably be able to get pregnant soon. When Zhao Ping'er was pregnant, they would naturally be able to carry her. Mu Chunfeng leaned on Qin Dashan and praised him. Yuaner's father, you're still the best. You said that drunken sex is messed up, so this is the best time to send it over. As expected, look at our family's Yuaner, he's really working hard. However, it was understandable that this was his first time. He was young and impetuous, and this was his first time cheating on her. They're all like this. Qin Dashan smiled and said, of course the old saying is right. But Yuaner, that child, looks soft and weak. I didn't expect him to be quite good in this aspect. He's comparable to me when I was young. Mu Chunfeng looked at Qin Dashan shyly and said, that's enough. Don't be so smug. Aren't you ashamed? Qin Dashan smiled. What are you shy about? Why are you being so serious in front of your wife? Shameless. Mu Chunfeng glared at Qin Dashan, embarrassed and annoyed. Qin Dashan smiled wretchedly. I say, Yuaner's mother, how long has it been since the two of us did that? Mu Chunfeng replied shyly, it's been so long, who would remember? Then Yuaner's mother, look at how hard Yuaner and Ping'er are moaning. It makes one's heart itch to hear it. Yuaner's mother, do the two of us want to do it once too? After Qin Dashan finished speaking, he started to move closer to Mu Chunfeng. Mu Chunfeng glared at Qin Dashan. You're already so old. What are you still doing? Aren't you afraid that you'll break your own bones? Qin Dashan couldn't hold himself back. Yuaner's mother, it's not like we do it often. Just once. Just once will do. Mu Chunfeng looked at Qin Dashan with some resentment. You old thing. In the past, when I wanted to do it, you wouldn't do it no matter how I called you. Chapter 1055. Humph, so you also know that it's your fault. Yes. Of course I know. Yuaner's mother, don't worry. I won't do that again. You can order me around as much as you want in the future. Mu Chunfeng then nodded in agreement. Actually, she didn't intend to refuse from the start. She just nagged at Qin Dashan. Qin Dashan pounced on her like a hungry wolf. Thus, There was another woman's cry in the family qin room. After the banquet was set up in Zhao Yun'er's house, the guests who came to eat then gradually dispersed. The members of the Liang family sat in the third branch's room and ate. They ate happily. There were quite a lot of dishes prepared for the banquet, so after the banquet, there were quite a lot of dishes left in Zhao Yun'er's house. Especially some meat dishes. Zhao Yun'er still prepared too much meat. They ate a lot without a table, so there was still a lot left. After Mu Lan and Mu Hin were done with their work, Zhao Ping asked them to bring back a lot of vegetables. They were all picked out and brought back. There was also old Madame Chen. Because she asked them to come over to help, she naturally prepared a lot of good food for him to bring back. The Liang family members who were full were a little reluctant to leave. They had never eaten such things on a normal day. Zhao Yun'er originally thought that the relatives who had eaten would leave. She didn't expect that these people's skin was much thicker than she thought, especially Liang Jinfen. After Liang Jinfen finished eating, he strolled into Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and looked at the leftover dishes. She didn't know what he was looking at. Zhao Ping thought that Liang Jinfen was planning to steal her family's vegetables, so she walked into the kitchen and asked Liang Jinfen, "Second aunt, what are you doing?" When Liang Jinqiao saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, he smiled embarrassedly and said, "Yun'er, hee. Actually, I just want to see how many dishes are left in your kitchen from the banquet." Now that he looked at it, he felt that there were quite a lot of leftovers. There are also many good dishes. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. She hated Liang Jinfen's scheming eyes. "So be it. This is my family's business. Second aunt, this is not something your family should worry about." Liang Jinfen continued to smile awkwardly. "Yun'er, what are you saying? Second aunt, you can't just say it." Zhao Yun'er sneered. Her second aunt really knew how to pretend. Her eyes were fixed on the dishes and she wanted to get some leftovers, but she was just saying it casually. Zhao Yun'er smirked and asked coldly, "Second aunt, are you really just saying it casually? Since you're done talking, hurry up and get out." Zhao Yun'er looked like she was chasing him away. Liang Jinfen immediately panicked. "Aya, why are you like this? How can you chase people away like this? Is this how you treat your second aunt? You're not filial at all." Liang Jinfen's nagging made Zhao Yun'er very annoyed. "Second aunt, are you leaving or not? If you don't, I don't mind kicking you out. You're acting like a thief. Also, don't flaunt your seniority all day long. Elder? Who has an elder like you? Being filial to you is what your daughter should do. It has nothing to do with me." Chapter 1056. Some people were just like that. They could not be persuaded and had to resort to violence. She had no one to blame but herself for embarrassing herself. After Liang Jinfen was kicked out, she fell heavily to the ground. She cried out in pain as her butt was kicked. She fell to the ground and felt that her body was falling apart. She was in so much pain that she could not even crawl on the ground. Liang Jinfen did not expect Zhao Yun'er to attack her. This little b*tch. She really did not care about anything when she was provoked. At least she would not be so ruthless on account of her elders, right? "Wah, big sister!" Liang Jinfen yelled at the top of her lungs as she lay on the ground like a shrew. Liang Jinqiao walked over with a frown and asked, "Second sister, what are you?" Liang Jinfen grabbed Liang Jinqiao's hand and cried to Liang Jinqiao, "Big sister." Sob, sob, sob. Look at your good daughter. She kicked me out of the kitchen. Big sister, how can a junior hit an elder like this? What kind of upbringing is this? If word gets out, it will be a disgrace to you, big sister. Liang Jinfen's voice was very loud, which made the rest of the Liang family come out. Liang Jinfen did this because she wanted everyone to help her criticize Zhao Yun'er. With one more mouth and one more mouth, it could help her build momentum and pressure Liang Jinqiao together so that Liang Jinqiao would be able to entertain her. Liang Jinqiao frowned slightly. She looked at Liang Jinfen and then at Zhao Yun'er. She knew that Zhao Yun'er was not a reckless person. Liang Jinfen must have done something to upset Zhao Yun'er, so Liang Jinfen attacked her. "Yun'er this." Liang Jinqiao's eyes were full of doubts. The Liang family came over. After hearing what Liang Jinfen said, they began to scold Zhao Yun'er. "What is this Yun'er girl doing? No matter what, she can't attack her elders like this, right? That's right. Didn't do that. She didn't respect her elders. If word got out, people would talk about it. You're already so old, why don't you know the rules? Let apologize to second younger sister. Is in the wrong. That's right. Was in the wrong. Let apologize to her second aunt. Eldest sister, you're Yunar's mother. What do you think about Yunar? The Liang family said one sentence after another. They were all scolding Zhao Yunar. Of course, he was gloating more than anything. Zhao Yunar made the Liang family's women unable to eat at the table today. Wu Zhenju held a grudge against her. Naturally, he took the opportunity to scold her. Liang Jinfen was even more proud when she saw that the Liang family was on her side. She thought that even if she didn't say anything, with the Liang family around, Zhao Yunar would definitely be forced to apologize to her. Thinking of this, she felt much better. Liang Jinfen planned that if Zhao Yunar apologized to her later, she wouldn't accept it so easily. She had to extort Zhao Yunar and ask Zhao Yunar to give her the leftovers. She had to give her some meat too. In addition to the leftovers, she had to give her some wedding candies and other things. Of course. These were all Liang Jinfen's thoughts. Zhao Yunar snorted. The Liang family was really interesting. They actually wanted her to apologize. They were dreaming. Chapter 1057. Zhao Yunar stood up and snorted. Apologize? Why should I apologize? You're shamelessly staying in my kitchen and refusing to leave. Since I can't invite you out, I can only kick you out. Second aunt, tell me yourself, did I ask you to leave first? You little girl. I'm only staying in your kitchen for a while. Why did you kick me out? Liang Jinfen spat in dissatisfaction. That's right. Girl. Your second aunt is only staying for a while. Why did you kick her out? Why are you so petty? You're even treating your own family like this. That's right, you didn't even let us eat at the table. Wu Zhenju mocked even more. Zhao Yunar stared coldly at the weirdo. It's fine for you to come into my kitchen, but it's not right for you to stare at the things in my kitchen. Who stared at your things? You lass, don't spout nonsense. Liang Jinfen couldn't keep her face as she angrily retorted. Is that so? Zhao Yunar smiled. Liang Jinfen felt that he had been tricked by Zhao Yunar. If he said yes, it would be difficult for him to ask for the leftovers later. Zhao Yunar would even find an excuse to refuse. He might as well bring it up now and save himself the trouble of asking later. Big sister, I just wanted to see how many leftovers you have. When I came to the kitchen just now, I saw a lot of leftovers. Your family definitely can't finish it all. Why don't you bring some back for us? After Liang Jinfen finished speaking, Liang Jinqiao was stunned. Actually, it wasn't impossible to give some to Liang Jinfen, but judging from Zhao Yunar's expression, she probably didn't want to give it to him. Second aunt, if I remember correctly, you said not long ago that you didn't want to eat leftovers. Why, now you want to eat leftovers? Zhao Yunar asked with a smile. Liang Jinfen's expression was very ugly. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly as he defended himself. That's because I didn't know before. I just ate your leftovers and thought it was quite delicious. Anyway, you have so much at home that you can't finish it. Why don't you bring some back for us so that we can help you finish it? Don't you think so? When Zhao Yunar heard this, she only found it laughable. Liang Jinfen was really thick-skinned to a certain extent. It was one thing for her to want the leftovers, but the main thing was that she acted as if it was a matter of course and she had no qualms about it. It was as if their family had given her leftovers and had to thank her for eating them instead of wasting them. How could there be such a disgusting person in this world? Zhao Yunar felt that she could no longer express her disgust. Second aunt, thank you for your kindness, but there are many people in my family, so it's not like I can't finish it. When eldest uncle and second uncle come to my house to work, we can serve the leftovers today. Zhao Yunar replied with a fake smile. Speaking of this, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui felt that it was true. But if Liang Jinfen took away all the good stuff, then what were they going to eat when they returned? Second sister, Yun is right. When we return to work, there will be many men coming to work, so we can eat faster. That's right. We work every day so we can eat more. You'd better not bring any leftovers. Leave them for us to eat. For their own benefit, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui diverted the topic to Zhao Yun'er's side again. After all, other people couldn't eat the leftovers, but they could come over to work every day to eat. Liang Jinfen smiled embarrassedly. What are you saying? How can your eldest uncle and second uncle serve leftovers? They have to cook new dishes every day. Chapter 1058. Zhao Yun didn't say anything. She wanted to see what Liang Jinfen was going to say. Zhao Yun was calm, but Zhao Yun'er's uncles weren't as calm. They said to Liang Jinfen, "Second sister, you're wrong. Cooking new dishes costs money." "Second sister, big brother is right. Cooking new dishes costs money. Pinger's family's money is money, isn't it?" "That's right." Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshun weren't really thinking about Zhao Yun'er's family and helping them save money. They were thinking about their own interests. Although it was leftovers, there was chicken, fish, and meat. It was much better than what they usually ate. Plus, the food that Zhao Yun'er cooked was delicious. If she gave it to Liang Jinfen, what else would they eat? At this moment, the other members of old Zhao's family also came out to join in the fun. Li Chueying said at the top of his voice, Yun'er is giving leftovers to her relatives? Doesn't that mean we get a share too? Yun'er, you can't be biased. If you give it to your mother's relatives, you have to give it to our relatives too, right? Feng Zhangxia came over and agreed. That's right. Ping-er's surname is Zhao, not Liang. If she's not an idiot, she'll know who she's closer to. Li Chueying and Feng Zhangxia weren't easy to deal with. With such a good bargain, they naturally had to take advantage of it. They were already looking forward to Zhao Yun'er's family's dishes. If Zhao Yun'er gave it to the Liang family, there was no reason not to give it to them. With Li Chueying and Feng Zhangxia stirring things up, the Liang family knew that it was fine if Zhao Yun'er didn't give it to them. Once she gave it to them, she couldn't be biased. Everyone had to give it to them. No matter how much leftovers there wouldn't be much left after this. Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshun knew this, so they weren't stupid enough to ask for more. They hurriedly said to Liang Jinfen and the others, Okay, Yun'er's family held a banquet, so there's only so much leftovers. If you want it, I want it too. Yun'er can't get so much food. I think we shouldn't ask for it. That's right. Yun'er can give it to whoever she wants. If she doesn't give it to her, then keep it. Otherwise, my body can't recover. 2. Liang Jinfen changed her words again, looking for an excuse from this aspect. Second aunt's body is weak. Isn't your family rich? Don't tell me you're greedy for our family's leftovers? Or is second aunt's family just like that? They're just pretending to be rich to show off in front of us? Otherwise, they wouldn't be so greedy for leftovers. Zhao Yun'er sneered. After saying that, Liang Jinfen's face turned green and white. She looked terrible. Of course, she couldn't say that her family was poor. If she wanted to take advantage of Zhao Yun'er's family, wouldn't that be embarrassing? If you don't want to give it to us, then don't give it to us. Really? I've never seen such a petty person. Liang Jinfen said angrily. Old Madame Liang looked at the family quarreling and couldn't help but say, Okay, stop quarreling. You're quarreling over such a small matter. Seriously. Since old Madame Liang had spoken, the others couldn't say anything else. They agreed with old Madame Liang. Mother, you're right. We shouldn't quarrel. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.